What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
Greetings, pathetic humans. I am your robot overlord Diggins.
And this is mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woo!
Hooray, hooray, hooray.
So running so much.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, but we got a lot of running and a lot of robot overlords in this movie. Avengers: Age of Ultron. Just kidding.
That's right.
But a lot of running and a lot of robots in that one. Same kind of bullshit too, where like the robots just like a blue tunnel of computer screens and stuff, kind of in cyberspace. Like
also kind of weird way how you kill the robot, right? You know, does it always kind of like exactly map out?
Very specific. Like there's like a thing, and we have to press it at the right time, and everybody explodes. Yeah. What other things are similar about both movies?
Things are fall.
Scene in a submarine, although the submarine in Avengers is above ground, right? Or battleship or whatever it is.
Dies in them.
Aaron Taylor Johnson dies in both, yeah. And
there's not a nuke in Ultron, right? It's just the city's gonna fall.
No, because Jarvis disables the nukes. That's the big twist kind of thing.
Hacking nukes.
Hacking nukes.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
No French people, though, thank God. Which is this movie's greatest mistake.
Well, an Avenger in this movie, right? There's an Avenger.
I was going to say, Haley Atwell, is in that one too, very briefly in Steve's dream sequence.
Palm Klittoff, I know she's not in the movie.
Yeah.
But, is
Clementif?
Man, I don't. Sorry.
I saw
sorry
a thing.
To you, Palm.
Yeah, I apologize to Palm. Apologize in her native
Palm, if you
French,
are listening,
DJ.
I want you to know that I love you.
I do too. I just don't know how to pronounce
I love you enough to know how to say your name.
Fair enough.
DJ,
fair enough.
in French, apologize to Palm. You know French?
Merci
apologize.
Thank you very much. That's right. That's how you apologize.
Yeah. Do you know, Dickens? I don't know.
I actually don't know. I don't know how to say sorry in French.
Pardon?
Is pardon? Yeah, I guess
what?
that's
no, that means like pardon. Like that's not sorry.
Like,
it's true. Like a pardon, like what you give Pete, like we were talking about earlier.
Or like pardon me, right? You know.
Right. That's true. That is different. It's kind of like how millennials use no problem, but boomers use you're welcome, to mean kind of the same thing, but they're very distinct and different.
My mother hates no problem. My son says it, and it's like it drives her up a wall.
So much better. You're welcome. Who do you think you are? Like, I mean, that's always how I kind of figured it in my head. I don't know. But just because millennials are better people, I guess.
We are. Actually.
Apparently, it is Je suis désolé.
Je suis désolé, Palm.
Clementif, I believe is her last name. But, she's great. Did you know I saw an interview with the actors in this movie? They were asked how many people in the MCU were in this movie. Do you guys want to take a guess?
Oh my gosh!
Considering the entire cast of this movie, which is like 1 million people, but it's mostly just people running around
in
the MCU, and they were very generous with what an MCU project was.
Sure.
So I don't even remember two of them.
I mean, there's two obvious.
Right,
ones.
there's two that we just said.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 5?
Is that your guess, Dickens?
I'm going to go with, I feel like this is interesting because the number is crazy high. I'm going to say 9.
Okay, well, Price is Right rules. DJ wins. It's 8.
I almost said 8.
You were so close. I don't remember all of them. Ving Rhames is in Guardians of the Galaxy as like very briefly on Steven Seagal. Not Steven Seagal. What's the other one? Sly Stallone's team of aliens. So there's him. Shea Wingham is in stuff, I think, or something. Who cares?
She does a lot of things.
Yeah, he was in. I think he's in the Agent Carter show. Okay. Somebody's on Daredevil. Somebody's in some other shit. I don't know.
So they really did use a lot of license with this.
Yeah, and like, what's her name isn't even in this one. Miss Invisible Woman, who is now the Invisible Woman in these. But like, she was in the last couple of these. Yeah, she's a big star. And this movie is great. And that might be everybody. There's one other person for sure. Oh, what's her name? Angela Bassett. Queen Ramonda from Black Panther is the president in these. Yeah. So We'll get to it. Speaking of the news of the week, I got a news for you guys. It's a short one. We probably don't have to talk about it too much. It is MCU adjacent, I guess. This actress has not been in the MCU, regardless of what her agent led her to believe, I guess. But did you see what Sydney Sweeney's up to this week?
Oh, no. What happened?
Oh.
Diggins, you saw, I'm assuming, because...
I don't think so.
He's the Sweeney head of the pod.
Oh, obviously,
I'm definitely not the person who has been on the record saying multiple times that he's never seen a good Sydney Sweeney performance.
Yeah, you're not that one lady in that one New York article that was like, she's bad at this. Remember that? And everybody was like, that's mean. And then we just kind of all went with it. You know, we were like, don't say that about her. It's not nice.
Yeah.
Never said incorrect. Maybe we'll never know. I don't have really opinions about her, but no, so Sydney Sweeney this week, in conjunction or partnership or whatever with the Squatch Soap Company, is selling limited edition soap of you buy a little block of soap from them.
I didn't know this was
8,000
her.
of them made with her genuine bathwater, apparently. So that is a real thing. Yep. Isn't this fascinating?
No.
This is what we're at. You know?
I saw you exposing yourself in the Discord, but I didn't know it was about Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah. I think it's crazy that this exists. I think the price is very reasonable. $8.
Anybody takes what I said, it doesn't.
Well, we want people to get on the Discord ticket, so let's leave it vague. You know, go on the Discord and see what he meant. We'll never know.
I have a question. I just have a very and this
I'll
should
take
be
your questions.
The first one. How are they verifying that it is in fact her genuine bathwater?
I mean, she's involved with it.
Takes a bath at the factory.
Yeah, and I think it's made with her bathwater, but I don't believe it's made like, because these soaps, I don't know much about these soaps, but it's like, I think this company is like, we got soap and it's just water and, you know, wood shavings and pine or whatever. And like, so I don't think all of the water in this soap is going to be bathwater. I think every soap is getting a dropper from the bathwater, you know, bath, and then a bunch of regular water. But like technically, if you were trying to, I don't know, clone her from soap or something, you could maybe do it. I don't know.
But how could they know? There's no way to know.
I mean, how do we know we're not already, you know, like we're sharing the planet with her. Her water, you know, cycles through the water cycle, the little circle with rain clouds.
He's got a great point.
You know, here I'm mostly nitpicking. I feel like this is something, if I were a consumer of this product, which I would never be.
Which you would never be.
But that would just be my kind of, you know, natural follow-up. Is like, I want to know, and how do I know?
I'm imagining, I mean, not imagining, but she did a commercial in a bathtub, I believe, for this. Honestly, I haven't seen it. But if she did that could just be the bathwater. Like, it doesn't need to be very much. So honestly, they have it in the thing. They should use it. Whether like that would be a waste to just flush that right down the drain, throwing the bathwater out with the bathwater, as they say.
I don't have to press this point because I'm not a weirdo. Although I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. Shout out to you if you're buying this. But like, just maybe you need a certificate of authenticity. You know, there could be a lawsuit down the road if they found out it was made with like some other mundane bathwater, like
Zendaya's bathwater or somebody else from that show she's on.
I'm worried. Like, what if it's like Elon Musk bathwater? Like,
my God!
Yes, listen, guys.
I think I'm no bathwater expert, but I think if I was given a soap with one and the other, I could tell the difference, right?
Well, yeah, because one would immediately get you on a ketamine high.
Yeah, one would be that, or it'd be, it would impregnate the other soap if you're trying to take the other soap away.
Oh, no.
You know what it is? I get
like,
one of...
If it tried to go on a non-white person's skin, it would just sort of like repel off of it, refuse to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, if you bring one of its kids up to it, the soap kind of repels away. It's like, I don't want to be anywhere near them.
Too. You're right.
They all love me. What was I going to say? Okay, so since neither of you guys know about this, and you're hearing about this for the first time, the bathwater thing.
Yes.
So the soap bricks, I think, are the same size as their usual soap bricks, which are like a little bit larger than a bar soap. How much do you think? And I believe they said they're making like 6,000 of these. An individual brick of soap costs.
This brick of soap specifically?
Yeah. If you buy one of them, how much money are you paying for it?
$50.
DJ?
One brick of soap. I'll overdo Diggins and be wrong. I'm gonna go $89.
Okay. DJ is off by a factor of 10 in the
No.
down direction or something, because it's $8. They are, I know, like I said, very reasonable for this.
That is actually kind of reasonable.
That's still expensive for a single bar of soap, but that's
Yes.
way better than I was expecting.
And I don't think that's that more expensive than the regular bars of soap they produce, which are already more expensive than usual soap. But like, I think their soap's like, I don't know, $4 or $5. So like, I don't even think I'd want a bathwater, but I think you take like, it's the $3 upcharge. It's not as much as, what other options do you have?
Yeah, I'm not immediately saying no.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm immediately saying no in terms of I don't think I want this product.
I don't want it either, but like,
aren't you curious now? Now that you know how much that it's like, you're just paying for soap.
$8.
$8, yeah.
For the price of a cup of coffee, at Starbucks or whatever.
What would I possibly learn?
I don't know.
Maybe you would clean yourself and become a better person or something. Maybe there's something in.
Well, I
Sydney
wouldn't become
Sweeney's.
a better actor. I can tell you that.
You might be maybe than you, not than like Dakota Johnson or something like that. But I don't know. Sydney Sweeney's okay. What's the best Sydney Sweeney movie? That's Madam Web.
I was gonna say Madam Web, obviously.
Yeah, I love Madam Web.
Probably that nun movie she was in.
Yeah, I watched that. It's okay. It's a little weird, but oh yeah, I really didn't like anything but you or anyone but you, so it can't be that. And that's it. She really doesn't make that many movies. A Halsey music video, maybe. Oh, she was on Handmaid's Tale.
Diggins, you're paying for you're paying like a 25% vig on regular soap. You don't want Sydney Sweeney soap.
I mean, just imagine
not pay the extra and buy a regular bar of soap.
But a regular bar of soap, that's only going to go down in value. But this might go up in value.
Stop.
What if something crazy happens? What if she like assassinates someone or whatever? Can be anybody too. I'm not saying assassinate anybody specific, but
listen, if somebody has to do it, and it turns out that somebody is Sydney Sweeney, then I'll take back every mean thing I ever said about her.
All right, you'll get some soap if it's available at the time,
and I'll get some soap to support her.
Good,
because it doesn't even go on sale yet. I think it's somewhere in June, so she's got time to win you over. And maybe she will. It's pretty interesting, isn't it? When do you think how far? Because she's like the thing about her that's weird. Because celebrities do weird shit all the time, but I would argue she's like an A-lister, right? Like,
is she a B+ lister?
I think she's an A-lister.
You think she's an A-lister? Okay.
Yeah, I do. I think she can like open a movie. It doesn't like that stupid anything but you or anyone but you movie is like just her and Glenn Powell.
It's hard because there's so many A-listers. Do you think that Miles Teller is an A-lister?
From the Gorge? Yes, I do.
Okay.
Only without Gorge, we'd be in trouble, but
with Gorge.
Gorge keeps it.
I found this interesting.
Now that Miles Teller's been engorged.
Yeah.
The most recent Knicks game, Chalamet was courtside as he has been.
Right.
And of course they give him the Chiron. Miles Teller was next to him. Nothing. No Chiron. Didn't mention him. Miles Teller was just the guy next to Timothy Chalamet. And I was legitimately shocked. I'm like, Miles Teller's getting nothing? So like...
if you had asked me, I would definitely say Timothy Chalamet is more famous than Miles Teller.
But we're just saying A-lister. Are they an A-lister?
I guess maybe Miles Teller isn't an A-lister. Maybe he is a B+ lister.
Right?
But I think Sydney Sweeney is higher on the totem pole than
higher than Miles Teller.
Would you buy Miles Teller's bathwater in a soap?
Out of sheer curiosity for $8? Fuck yeah! It has this,
yeah, probably.
I'm buying any bathwater for $8.
You hear that? Form. Mostly nitpicking Discord.
Yeah.
All our fans, just put your bathwater up for sale. DJ's gonna buy it.
I mean, listen, in the future, $8 for water might be pretty good price if you ask me.
Yeah, when we live in
Bath
the
or
Mad
otherwise.
Max future, and you have
Yeah.
to rely on Immortan Joe, just like
Mhm.
opening up the lever for a few seconds every day. $8 for
Yeah.
water is going to sound pretty good.
Pretty good. Is there a celebrity who you think has the best bath water? Who's the top tier? And it's Charlize Theron, not just because of the Mad Max thing, but because of that Snow White movie we watched.
And the
But
milk. I was going to say it's
yeah,
the milk.
that's in practice. We saw what the townspeople, they loved it.
Yeah.
That's
but-
true.
Yeah, how about this then? Just this. What celebrity do you think smells good just on their own? You know, because that would
Well-
ideally be the best bathwater.
Not any of those ones who don't shower.
Right. Get them out of this, like Ryan Gosling or whatever. Not even close.
Do we think Pedro Pascal smells good?
So he's got all the helmet and like all
That's
those,
true.
he's got all that
Sweats
shit
too
on him,
much.
you know? I feel like I
got
see
too
him
much
moving
shit on him.
around too much. Yeah, I feel like he's a sweaty dude. We need someone that's still, someone that just hangs out in an air-conditioned area all day.
And
Ving
it's more like
Rhames.
I was gonna say, yeah, Big Rames.
someone who's more like skeletal that isn't like sweating a lot. Maybe like an Adrian
Right.
Brody. Maybe he smells good because he got sweaty in that Brutalist movie.
He
I don't know.
really strikes me as one of those celebrities that doesn't bathe without knowing anything about him, just knowing kind of his whole kind of like, I don't know, cool hipstery vibe. I don't trust it.
Yeah.
I need somebody who's like really just incredibly put together to the point where you're like, this guy, like,
I bet Bowen Yang smells pretty good.
sure. I bet
Why
Bowen
is
Yang
that?
smells
You know
great.
he
Okay,
bathes
what about-
regularly.
What about him makes you
Mhm.
think that he takes good care of himself?
Mm,
Just look at him. I mean, he's got great skin.
yeah.
And
And he's got
I feel like he's had great skin the whole time. I don't know how much of it's been work. I mean, obviously, it's the more money you get, the better it is. But I feel like he's just always had good skin.
he's got that wicked money too now. So like,
I
if he didn't
know.
have a great smell before, he probably does now.
That's
if anything,
true.
he's got so much money, we may be bordering on him starting to smell bad. You know, like he may be getting to that point of celebrity where he's like, I don't need to do anything people tell me. I don't need to take baths.
Yeah.
What do you think Tom Cruise smells like? Think he's a
Ugh.
good smell?
I don't know.
I think he smells faintly of rubber.
I think he has zero smell. Like I feel like
Is-
his true level, you never even know he's in a room.
you go near Tom Cruise and you realize that you've never smelt nothing before
Yeah.
in your life until this
That's my
moment.
guess.
Is that Scientology? Is that what that is?
Scientology, positive thinking,
Yeah.
whatever, it could be either
He
of
is-
those things.
He has so few xenons or whatever it is.
Thetans. Yeah, he's got no
That's what it
thetans.
is.
I know
Mhm.
he's probably like a not cool person because he's so famous, but I really did like that
He's a
story
cult leader.
because he's a cult leader. But
Yeah.
that being said, I did like that he yelled at all those people to put their masks on when they were
Love
filming
that.
Top Gun. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want to point out the wins.
That's the thing about cult leaders. Traditionally, pretty cool until you get to that whole cult thing,
Yeah.
But like
Pretty
the
charismatic.
charisma gets you pretty far in the cult game. And
I mean,
Yeah.
the man cares a lot about movies in a way that seems
Mhm.
oddly genuine.
yeah.
Like
I
he
think that's
doesn't
right.
just want to be successful or like spread the cult. He actually just loves movies and wants them to succeed.
I
Yeah.
agree. I can, however, do without the little message before. It's like, thank you for being here in a fucking movie theater. I'll kiss you on the fucking mouth for being here.
Would you take a kiss in the mouth from Tom Cruise? I would.
Fuck yes. You'd be insane to say no.
Yeah,
Come
for the
on.
story.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
honestly, how many people have gotten it? He's one of those celebrities who doesn't kiss in movies. Like he's kind of the celebrity, like The Rock, who did that kind of sexless thing so he could appeal to all markets. So
Right.
it'd be a rare kiss. It'd be weird. Maybe it'd be great.
It probably wouldn't feel human, but I'd
Yeah.
be glad that I did it.
Mm-hmm. I was really expecting a kiss in this movie, and then the movie's like, here's a
No.
box instead. I guess that is what these tend to be about.
And
but-
not the box you're thinking about.
No,
folks.
not that box either.
'Cause that box
Definitely.
might have been cool.
Nope. Zero. Yeah. I mean, listen, I feel like he was married in one of these
Yeah,
previously.
to-
And then he had a girlfriend.
They mentioned it in this one that he was married in 3.
They mention everything, so a lot of it kind of goes.
That's true. Also, everything mattered. Together. Even the bioweapon wasn't a bioweapon. That was code ooze, which I want to talk about that.
Well, DJ, please, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
I'm sorry.
But I do want to say he's married. He also had a girlfriend at one point that was killed by the bad guy, but I'm pretty sure that was never on screen, right? That's just like a flashback they invented for the last one of these.
Yeah, that's just like a thing they implied in the last one. It was never in any of the movies.
So that's, I think, how you know he's at the moment in his career where he's like, no more kisses. I'm not going to do that anymore. You can retcon some kisses having happened in the past, but we're not doing any more of those in the future.
No more smooching. So, I'm not done even with my smooches.
And listen, DJ, as the non-smoocher of the podcast, I can't imagine you would.
Yeah, you're the one who vomits at the mere thought of touching your wife's lips.
Mm-hmm. And it's a good it's a good franchise for that then, because they've been quite sexless for a while. They almost made a sexual like kind of rival for Ethan and then killed her for no reason. So she could do Silo, I guess. I don't know. But we'll get to it. So yeah, bathwater. How long do you think it's gonna be before a celebrity does OnlyFans? Like an A-lister, Are we like
I was gonna say we've already got Dre and DeMatteo.
Oh my gosh, that's true. Yeah, but like
I guess those tariffs kick in like big time, maybe.
Yeah,
especially when those 100% tariffs on movies happen.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever
my gosh,
that means.
It's gonna be real problematic.
That's Tom Cruise will start just to save the movies. He'll start the OnlyFans and then donate the money back to popcorn.
Do you think Tom Cruise would do it if the tariffs happened on movies?
I think if the tariffs happened on movies, Tom Cruise would. What would he do? What would Trump want from Tom Cruise that Tom Cruise could give him?
What could he extract? Oh my god, I have no idea.
I mean, money and stuff, but also like, is there something that Tom Cruise could present him with that would be like, oh my god, the entity or something, and he'd be like, oh, now I'll take those things down. Like,
brave he is.
Yeah, he would give him a box and say, this is the box that has the entity in it. And Donald Trump would get confused and think that the movie really happened and be like, oh my god, the entity, I can control the world with this.
Yeah.
You tell people I'm not a chicken. I'm brave. I'm a big brave boy.
He is brave. What's the best Tom Cruise movie? If you got to have one thing from Tom Cruise movie, what would it be?
Like,
it's your favorite thing.
Like, what do you mean by like one thing? Like the
good
an
question.
Actual thing?
I do. What do I mean by one thing?
The ability to time travel from Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, that would be handy.
Ooh, that's really good.
That big giant suit he wears that could do backflips kind of somehow, even though it makes it look like a little marionette. They're making another one of those,
All right.
Really? Wow.
That's what they keep saying. Yeah. Because it made money, and I think it was made by this guy, right? Like, I think Chris McQuarrie made it. So I think it's kind of been like hey, when we're done with all these Mission Impossibles, maybe we do one of those. If it's not Chris McQuarrie, it's the guy who made the last couple of these, whatever. There's somebody involved with Tom Cruise who's like part of the crew. So yeah. I think I want I don't know if I'd want like Booty Sweat from the Tropic Thunder movie.
Yeah.
But I think I'd want a Tropic Thunder thing. Maybe just like the little chain he wears. He wears a chain under his little outfit.
That's a good call.
That'd be pretty cool. Or G5 Airplane. Actually, thinking about things from Tropic Thunder, that's what I would want. You know what? If he gives that to Trump, maybe the movies will be okay.
That's true. Planes are the way
your
to
airplane,
get to
sir.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's demonstrated effective.
Mm-hmm. And even he has so many planes in this movie. Sometimes he hangs onto planes. Maybe
Sometimes
what if he
off of planes?
Yeah, what if he was like, I will hang on your plane, for this stupid plane you got forever, sir, if you don't tax the movies. And he sacrifices himself for us. Maybe that's what he would do.
Wow.
You know?
Not the hero we deserve, but the hero we need.
Yeah. So, speaking of heroes, we got to talk about Mission Impossible. What's this one called? Final Reckoning.
Yeah, which was it?
Final Reckoning.
The Final Reckoning.
Was the last one called Part 1?
Oh, for sure.
It was.
100%.
Now they pretend that it wasn't.
That's
they
crazy.
gave up.
Wow.
It doesn't make sense though, because I mean the movie has the line where the guy's like, "This is your final reckoning, Ethan." So I mean, it has to have been the plan all along.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know that they said that in the movie because, as I always do, I leaned over to my friend and said, "That's the name of the movie."
But you would have done that 3 or 4 times in this movie.
That's
twice.
True. Yeah,
You
did it twice. It felt like 4.
Yeah. There was that. I mean, and it's a cool thing to say. How often do you say the word reckoning in your life? It was never
true, though, but you know.
No, I mean, none of them ever.
It might be true. We don't know.
That's true. What does a reckoning even mean, though? Like,
you got to reckon with something.
Yeah, like test, I guess. Final test.
It's more like you got a reckoning is sort of like when something comes due, right? Like when you have to, resolve something.
I guess that's kind of what this is. Well, we'll get to it. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But who's in charge of the IMDb this week?
It's a me, Mario.
It is a you.
Cool.
So, are you going to take it away, DJ?
Let's
get that IMDb and spelling bee going.
Good to be here for the IMDb B as in spelling bee. Where my 2 is sorry, I'm just reading this for the first time now.
Oh, that's a good one, huh?
The entity got its claws in this too.
No. Oh no!
Oh no! This
follows the entity.
Well, you better start looking those tiebreakers up now.
Yeah.
Oh no! Sorry. We're in follows Riley territory.
Oh, hell yeah. We haven't had a really bad one in a while.
Oh, no. Shit. Okay. No, focus me. Task in hand. Fuck.
Task in hand. You got this.
The IMDb spelling bee is a thing where IMDb, they have a bunch of movie summaries and then they put them out for the people to see. So when they look at them, they'll be like, that's what the movie's about. But sometimes it's like this, you're like, oh no. And how do they get come with the summaries? I mean, I'll be honest, reading this, I'm like, fuck if I know. But
the entity, like Nando said.
That's true. If I were really focusing on this, I would probably say something like, actually what it is, it's really fascinating, guys. So I'm gonna do a quick aside. I actually had the opportunity this past weekend to meet a certain Supreme Court justice.
Clarence Thomas?
No, him himself. Supreme Court Justice Roger of Mostly Nitpicking, and he actually told me the secret of how IMDb comes up with the summaries. And it's so every podcast has a Supreme Court Justice, right? Like we have Roger, I'm sure like Joe Rogan, it's probably Jamie. He's probably the one for him. But so they all have their own Supreme Court Justice. And they get together at a summit every year and they write all the summaries for all of the movies. And some of them do good job and some of them do bad job. And guys, this guy did such a bad job.
This must have been Jamie.
It's probably
has
Jamie.
Roger been writing some of these then?
He did tell me the one. So Marley and Me was Roger. What else did he do? Bug's Life. He did Bug's Life. And he actually did a Tom Cruise movie. He did Risky Business. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess IMDb summaries.
Movies.
No, he just wrote the IMDb summary for them. Yeah, it's what he was assigned. He doesn't get to pick.
Wow.
All right, so you guys have to fucking okay. This is like it has nothing to do with the movie. Like, also it's like it's a marketing thing too. So this is like something that you would hear in a commercial or put on like the poster. So think like big picture, what they were trying to say in the movie about, what this movie is about. And then it's like marketing material and it's 2 sentences and it's quick too. It's like sentence. I'm gonna start looking up tiebreakers, but I'm definitely listening.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, as last
Diggins.
week's, I hesitate to say loser, considering the mysterious and murky circumstances around which that whole thing occurred. But as the person who gets to choose, I'm going to say Nando gets to go first on this one.
Okay. I think I could do this. I mean, I could do what DJ asked, and then we'll see if that's what this is. But like, I can provide a summary for this. So let's say, Tom Cruise stars as Ethan Hunt one last time in Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. He races to save the world from certain destruction in an impossible mission. That's all I got.
all right.
Now, DJ, can I automatically win if I say the name of the right movie?
Did I say Dead Reckoning? I got the old summary. I had the old summary.
I really was wondering. I'm like, how cruel am I going to be? Listen, give it your best shot. We'll see if it comes down to it.
All right. The movies are back and they're better than ever. Tom Cruise returns in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning with a whole slew of new death-defying stunts, insane action sequences, and a heart-stopping finale.
Okay. I actually do have a winner. Because
Is it the person who said the name of the movie correctly?
You know, if only it were that simple, but unfortunately, Diggins, maybe it's because he watched my cat while I was away. But
oh my
Nando,
God.
even though he said the wrong name,
this is highway robbery.
This is
incredible.
This is very crucial. There is two sentences, and Nando got one of them. I want to say exactly right, but he did get the name of the movie wrong.
Right?
So if we pretend, the entity scrubbed his audio, because as we know, the entity can't.
It can do whatever. We didn't see any of that happen, but it could do it. I guess not in this movie.
He did get one full sentence correct, so I
Really?
don't know how to.
And yeah, he got the name of the movie wrong, and some might argue that's the most important thing.
I know, but the entity, you can't believe what your eyes see and your ears hear. So it's.
What was the summary? I need to hear it now.
Well, DJ, if that's the case, then why don't we just assume the entity changed my perfect word for word recitation of the summary, and I win.
Well, you didn't watch my cat, so sorry.
You didn't ask me to.
I didn't think you would you have done it if I asked you to?
From New York?
Yeah, right. That's an insane way to go.
So
I mean, if you let me stay in your house while I did it, I would do it.
It's like a 20-minute drive for Nando. Anyway.
Yeah.
So,
maybe even less if I, have errands to do that day. So it's a real handy situation. But also, DJ, what's the summary? Because I gotta know.
Our lives are the sum of our choices. Tom Cruise is Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Oh my God.
So Nando said Tom Cruise is Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning,
but he kept going.
But you got there.
Yeah.
That
pretty much got it all.
Unfortunately, Diggins, you didn't say Tom Cruise is Ethan Hunt. You just said Tom Cruise is in Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. I feel like that Tom Cruise is Ethan Hunt.
Classic
really,
mistake.
Pulls it together. Yeah.
And yet, I also said the name of the movie right. So you could say that those two things cancel each other out.
We're not on a podcast called Mostly Nitpicking. We're on a podcast called Hey, we talk about movies and summarize them and stuff. So I'm not going to nitpick.
No,
if we were on a podcast called Mostly Nitpicking, then I would, but we're not. So I can't.
Incredible
live in that reality. Congratulations, Nando. Thank God I didn't. I'm so glad you crushed it.
I am too, because I didn't have a fucking clue what happened in this movie. So this would have been a rough summary.
I am being stolen from and gaslit live on stream, listeners. That's what's happening here. And if you feel as outraged as I do, then I want you to get in the comments.
Get in the comments. Get in the bathwater.
Yeah. Well.
Oh man.
What goes around comes around. Yeah. One day you'll be the judge, and I'll be the
listeners. If you are experiencing moral outrage over this moment, then I urge you refuse to sell your bathwater to DJ.
Oh my God.
I will not be compromised by the purchasing of bathwater. But what I will do is I will pass the mic to Nando, because he will get to tell us what he thought of Mission Impossible: The Final Dead Reckoning, or whatever the name of this movie is. We can't possibly know.
Right. The Final Dead Reckoning Part 2, maybe. Yeah. I watched this movie, and I've seen the Mission Impossible movies before, but like not more than once or twice. They're not movies I like go back to, even though I usually like them. And I couldn't stand the beginning of this movie. But also, I think the movie itself is fine. But like genuinely one of the most insane first hours of a movie I've ever seen. And like, that's the thing. You know what? This is my main problem with this movie. It's long. But like, sometimes when we say that, it's like, well, what do you cut? You know, all the stuff at the beginning you cut. At one point, they got so used to repeating lines from other Mission Impossible movies that a character says something. I wrote it down. I don't remember what it is. Oh, a character says, "Tell Ethan I'll be waiting for him." And then 2 minutes later, we watch that again. Like that's shot from 2 minutes ago, because this movie just cannot stop showing us clips from even the Mission Impossible movie this is. It's insane. But yeah, no, the stunts were fine. I think this franchise, the idea of bringing continuity into this is tricky, and I don't think it helps the movie. So like every time they do continuity stuff, it's kind of weird. That being said, there were characters I like more than others, and I agree with a lot of people I've seen saying that the main problem with this movie is that, like, besides all the weird shit in the beginning, the villain's not that interesting, and kind of loses me. But overall, I think this movie is fine. I think this is a good enough time. But like, I think if I recommended it to someone, I'd have to be like, the beginning's insane, but you know, just assume all that stuff happened, and like, you gotta pretend that the movie is right. Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise is fine. Like, he's good. Stunts are cool. And there were a lot of like little parts of people I liked. There were certain like cameo-ish actors that I enjoyed a lot. Mostly the Severance guy. And yeah, you know, these are fine. They're not my favorite movies, but I think this one was almost, I could see why a lot of people were like, this one's insane, but also it's okay. I don't know. Diggins, what about you? What do you think of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning?
Now he says it right.
Yeah, now we know.
I really liked this movie. I had a lot of fun with it. I went with some friends and I saw it in IMAX. And it's just, these movies are just have they're very good at crafting these sequences of just like, you put together a plan, the plan goes wrong, the plan keeps going wrong, and you just have to like deal with it until you get to the end where like they pull it off, even though like nearly everything has gone wrong and like circumstances have changed dramatically. And it's just like really thrilling to watch. I feel like these movies, I mean, that's like basic scene building stuff, but I think they do it really well. And they do another thing that I always love, which is they get to like the amount of complications that most movies would stop at, and then they do like 3 more. Which I'll talk about more in the summary, maybe the moments where I was like, this is insane, he's going to die. I think Nando's right about the beginning. The beginning's a mess, because they're trying to rush in all this continuity and chop things together. I think the worst parts of it are the parts that we keep flashing back to him talking to Luther for some reason, and I'm like, where does this happen?
Yeah.
When does this happen?
It's so confusing.
So I don't blame anyone who like doesn't like that part of it. I don't mind it too much. It's sort of just like, my relationship to information in this movie is they said the wildest bullshit I've ever heard in my life, and I was just like, okay. Like, everything they say about the ending sequence doesn't actually make any sense if you think about it at all. But they also set up very clear, like, we need to do A, B, and C, and that's how we succeed. And I'm like, all right, I'm just watching to see if they do A, B, and C. I don't care that none of it makes sense. Because I think like how DJ inexplicably liked Fast X, because he just loves the crash, zoom, bang. I just like the really well done stunts and like action sequences, and I don't need the rest of it to really add up. Now, obviously, the big difference there is that the action sequences in Fast X are bad, whereas the action sequences in this one are good.
How dare you?
I can't even remember. What was Fast X? Oh, there was that bridge.
There was a
when they like ghost or like zip lined the bridge or some shit.
Oh, right. That, yeah.
I'm talking about like the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even remember.
Movie stunk.
Yeah,
that movie did what this movie did, where it showed flashbacks and then it showed a guy in the flashback and then it showed it again and a different guy was in the flashback. And it's like, Jesus Christ, show me the movie. Which one of you is the movie?
The difference is that then Fast X showed a bunch of scenes that I literally don't even remember. And Mission Impossible Final Reckoning showed me the subsequence that I'm going to remember for a long time because that sequence ruled.
Maybe. We'll see what people think. Yeah, you know,
little lengthy, little kind of monotonous. You know.
Well, yeah, you guys hate when movies aren't 30 seconds long, so
yeah, me and my TikTok brain, you know. I blame Coco Melon or one of those ones.
All that to say that this movie has problems and definitely isn't the best Mission Impossible, but I had a lot of fun with it, and I think it is well worth seeing, especially if you have already seen the other Mission Impossibles, and so like you can kind of let that opening stuff sort of wash over you because you're like, yeah, I know who these people are. That will help a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also kind of hurts, you know. I feel like sending someone in fresh, having seen none of these, might be even better.
Yeah.
Because they just go, I guess that's something that happened in that movie.
Maybe.
And you're like, it didn't, but they want you to think it did. Like that is the idea.
Less knowledge is better. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
This is that like, hey, I guess these are all Thor's friends person that goes to see Endgame, only knowing who Thor is. Like, just believe all the things the movie tells you. Maybe you're just better for it.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't know that we're missing the best character from this, from the last couple of these for no good reason. And
that's a decision to blame the last movie for, not this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if only they were two parts of the same movie, then we would be able to, but we can't because they're different movies.
They are, in fact, two complete movies. I agree.
Mm-hmm. This one doesn't even have a subtitle, but
no. Well, it has a subtitle. It
doesn't
have a part.
Yeah, what would you call that? Subheading? I don't know. Anyway,
what did you think, DJ?
Oh my gosh, I'm definitely closer to Nando. Diggins, I agree.
I can't believe I'm doing this movie with two Philistines who hate film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me and all those reviewers that have great opinions. Like, I don't know. I thought about for a second bringing up some of the negative reviews from like legit people to preempt this, but then I didn't do that, so I'm not gonna. I'll try to do it now, but it's hard. Yeah.
Okay, here's my thing. I agree, Diggins, that it's like, wow, a lot of the sequences are fun, and it's like cool that it's like, oh, how'd they do that? Tom Cruise rolled around in a big sub, and that plane sequence sure was something. That is all true and accurate and adds to the fun. Unfortunately, the overall story is such bullshit, it loses me in a big way. I think because what I like about these movies is they set up an architecture for like, it's already in microscope and then it grows and grows and grows and grows, but like the stakes they set and the parameters for how things will happen are more or less like sensible, whereas in this movie it's complete and utter bullshit. Like the world this movie opens which is in a new world, then the movie closes, like it's fine, but it's a world in which we can't believe anything we see or hear because the entity is just like scrubbed information. And
God, could you imagine a world where you can't be sure that anything you see is real because of AI?
Well, let me.
Yeah, I assume that would come up at least once in the world that I'm seeing it in, But unfortunately, never the twain shall meet.
So, then we get to here, and right, and so that happens. Doesn't really come up a ton, but then we solve the problem, and we'll talk about that. And then just like the world like goes back. It's like, no, it fucking doesn't. Like the not to
Gotta
steal
open
from
back up
another
again.
Mission Impossible name, but like the fallout from this would be insane. So I don't know, part of that like kind of just like rubbed me the wrong way. The constant bringing back I thought was like kind of unnecessary, right? I don't need the bioweapon he stole from 2 or 3 or whatever to have
3.
actually been like secret source code. Like what the fuck? Like I didn't care for
silly.
that.
Yeah, it's tough because like if this was like Avengers and they were all kind of made and then someone who made them all kind of took it together and put it together, you'd be like, okay, whatever. But I feel like that movie was specifically like, it's nothing. We're never going to find out what it is. That's kind of the fun
of the
Rabbit's
was written
Foot.
by J.J. Abrams, so they were like, we're going to not think about our plot for even a second.
Right.
But I like that. I think that was good. I like that, like, you never ever find out what it is. And but then in this, they're like, you guys would never believe it is internet juice and stuff. And it's like... Okay.
I mean, I agree it's silly. It just doesn't bother me. It's like, yeah, whatever. It's a silly decision.
It's the sum of all those things to where I'm like, this overall is like not an enjoyable experience for me. Like in the aggregate, right? Like, add it all up. I'm like, I didn't love this. But I'm willing to be wrong kind of. Because like it's that like watching Tom Cruise do all the cool stuff like is legitimately like awesome, and I enjoy watching it. It's just I really 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 liked Fallout. Like that for me was like, oh, I'm glad that we're 6 deep and these haven't like turned to shit.
Fallout's the best one. I mean,
right. I was wondering about this.
There.
Can we each rank our Mission Impossible movies? Like,
oh my gosh,
in any, and I know there's a lot of them and some of them kind of bush together, but like,
that's the tough part. I remember not liking 4. Was 4 Ghost Protocol? Wait,
4 is Ghost Protocol.
Okay, never mind. I did like that one.
Great.
It's
2 is the one nobody likes.
Yeah,
and
2 is bad.
It's fine. 3 is divisive, I would say, among the fans, and the last one and this one are divisive among certain fans. But like, I think the other ones, 4, 5, and 6 all get kind of usually lumped in as the top 3 of these. And then maybe one
reputations.
And I don't even care that we're at the point of the movie that like we're just ripping faces off, right? It's like, well, but how did they get the face? Like I don't mind that at all. It's like the world building in the aggregate. I'm kind of like, oh, this kind of sucks.
This movie's pretty low on face rips now that I think about it, though.
There's only really the ones at the beginning, and then they never do it again.
What, the guards? There's like one more face rip. I can't remember.
I believe you, but I can't remember it either.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
If you can tell me what it is, I'll believe you. Because there's the guards at the beginning.
Yeah.
Not in the cabin with the Russians. Yeah, I guess there would never be an opportunity. Yeah.
No, they never do it then.
There's like a guy who could have done a face rip, but instead they're just like, he's bad. Yeah, watch out, he's got like, but like that could have been a face rip guy in another version of these. I do think what's his name may have done a face rip, Gabriel, but I just can't remember anything that character does. It's like in that episode of Black Mirror where you can block people and they just see a gray version of your silhouette. That's kind of what happens when Gabriel comes on screen. Yeah, it's fair. But that's just me.
Anyway, I'm like, this is fine. That's like my overall takeaway. So, I liked it enough. Should you go see it? Yeah, you should go see it. It's definitely like good enough to see. It's definitely seeable. So
yeah, I think it's like, I think most people would have a good time with it, but I think I'd have to be like, but don't take anything in the beginning for the first hour. If you're like, I'm gonna leave, don't. Because you're maybe gonna want to, but like stick with it, buddy. Like just
hang in there.
Put your head down. And
can I just say the idea of leaving a movie in the middle is insane to me.
I mean, I've left one movie in my life like that, and I don't even remember what it was. I think Nicole Kidman was in it, but like sometimes you want to reclaim your time. I'm not gonna give an hour of my time back to this movie that sucks.
I think I left Gran Torino.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because you love racism so much. You were like, they're saying so many bad things about my favorite thing, racism.
That I had to leave?
Yeah,
yeah,
you
if
were
anything,
mad
if you left
that they were being like, racism's bad. And you were
Oh,
like, no, I love racism.
Yeah, I don't know. But
I feel like there's movies I could have walked out on. I think the closest I got to walking out on a movie that I can kind of remember is that Willy Wonka movie with Johnny Depp. I think there was a point where I was like, I'm not going to like anything and this is doing, but I think I finished it.
What was funny for
Sorry, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say what was funny for me, like not leaving entirely, but I think after they go over the plan for the final sequence, right? Like you'll do the snatch. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom now because like I know what the plan is. I can just run to the bathroom and come back. There's a guy like behind me, and they give me the same thought, and we're like talking in the bathroom, like, wow, this is a long movie. We're like, it's just like pretty good, but this is a long movie, right? Like that was our big takeaway. It's like this is fucking long. So
well, some of us appreciate the cinema, DJ, and think movies should be as long as they need to be.
I'm out there with the masses, and clearly we're in there at the urinal, like, oh man, this is kind of brutal, you know.
Some of us also have bladders that are larger than the size of a walnut.
Well,
wait your turn, Diggins. It'll happen to you. Like that.
I also generally don't get a drink when I go, which I think might be part of this.
No, me neither.
Some of us like supporting the movie theater with our money, you know, because that's how they make money is on the drinks and the popcorn. So,
I mean, I had my full...
Yeah, like Tom Cruise, who eats his 2 full buckets of popcorn every time he goes to the movies.
Yeah, did you see the video of that guy in the movie they went to? And the guy had eaten so much of his popcorn before the movie started, and he kind of gave him a look or something like, yeah, you ate all your popcorn already? Imagine if Tom Cruise yelled at me for eating too much popcorn.
I know, right?
I would throw that popcorn right in his face. Be like, I didn't like
Night and Day. You're never going to get a kiss from Tom Cruise that way, Nando.
That's true. Maybe that's what he wants. You know, maybe he wants someone to be stern with him and, you know,
he's like
take him to task on his popcorn fascism. Exactly. Yeah. And I think it'll work out. So I just don't want to. I mean, he's not going to do these again, so he's going to have a lot of time on his hands. Although, do you think he makes another one of these without spoiling anything in the ending? Because they're fucking making more John Wick movies, and he definitely dies in one of them.
They're like,
he might
no way.
Cameo. I feel like he might be done leading them.
I don't know. Can he stay away? He's probably got another. He could film one more looking like this version of Tom Cruise before the all as much money as you can pour to your face that falls off
before the Thetans come roaring back.
Yeah, it's tough because like, do you wait 10 years, maybe even 15 years, and then do it? And it's like, oh my god, a Mission Impossible movie is back, kind of like with Top Gun. Like, because I don't think you can make another one right now. But I also don't think you can do like this is the cast that they've set up in the future that we know and love, because that just never works.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
This cast is rough.
They should bring the ballerina into these too. Anna de Armas and then he could show up in that in a poster or like a post-credit scene or something. Because like I do think he wants that Oscar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like we talked about it last week, but like he wants that stunt Oscar. So like maybe they do a prequel, Benji Origins or some shit, and then he's in that and he does one incredible stunt where he like jumps off of a fucking
it's like, hey, I did it,
sun or something. I don't even know what he could jump off of, but something cool.
Give me my accolades.
Yeah. Has he ever won an Oscar?
Tom Cruise?
I'm not sure. Producing?
I don't
right?
So,
like
right?
Eyes Wide Shut, maybe? Probably not. Vanilla Sky. Jerry Maguire. Like some of the movies he's been in have been...
He's been nominated 4 times, but nothing.
Man.
He's won some Golden Globes.
No, who hasn't?
Sure. Yeah, exactly. I feel like he must have been seeing Cuba Gooding win that Oscar and been like, well, I'm obviously going to get an Oscar too. And then Jerry Maguire didn't get an Oscar for him. It's like
I could have
that's
done this
weird.
Shit.
Yeah. Should have been Rod Tidwell instead. Speaking of things people can have done, Diggins, can you have done to explain the movie? Do it.
Not sure I can follow that sentence, but I can explain the movie.
That's how me and the IMDb summary are in sync right now. We all speak in nonsense words.
I see.
What was the first sentence of that, DJ? Do you remember?
Of what?
We are the sum of our choices or some shit.
We are the sum of our lives.
Our lives are the sum of our choices.
choices.
Guys, you don't remember the heartfelt words that Luther gave to Ethan Hunt at the end of the movie? Come on.
Luther, just cut that speech down in half, man. Like just a little bit less. Not
Make
brevity.
it longer, Luther.
Brevity is it helps you remember certain things. I like this speech. It just kept going, and that's great. But yeah, let's do the summary bit.
All right. Well, since I was cruelly robbed, even though Nando completely forgot the name of the movie,
It's so
I have to
forgettable.
do the summary here. But you know what? Nando forgetting the name of the movie does remind me of my favorite TV show, Joey.
Joey. I've been watching Joey recently.
Yeah, has DJ?
DJ, you seen Joey?
Week. I've been watching in and out. I missed
Man,
this.
you're going to be so confused at the season finale.
Oh,
Did you
really?
see the person on the Discord that found the first season of Joey at a thrift store? I would have. I would love that.
Incredible.
So DJ, you could have that one. If I ever find one, I'll loan it to you so you can catch up on all the Joey you missed. But which episode did you watch, Diggins?
I watched the episode Joey and the Wrong Name, I believe the name of it is.
Oh, yeah. That is what it was called. You're right.
Yeah. Really easy lead in this week.
Mm-hmm. Also, I was talking about, did Tom Cruise ever win an award? It's like, no, but he got nominated a bunch. Look at that.
Yeah, so that's also this. So we have to talk about this episode of Joey because it's so relevant.
It's incredibly relevant.
All right. So in this episode, Joey's all excited because he got nominated for a daytime soap award.
Oh.
For Best Death, for when his character, Dr. Drake Ramore, was killed off again on Days of Our Lives. So he's all excited for it. He's going to take Gina, but only if she wears a nice dress instead of one of her usual slutty dresses.
Yeah, they do say that in it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they say the word slutty, but that's the implication.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Michael's got a whole subplot where he thinks he's better at exercise than Joey, but it turns out it's because he thinks his mom taught him versions of exercises that are easy.
There's like 5 different Joey writers, and they all have different opinions of what Michael's athletic prowess is and like how he flirts with women. And this is like, there was that one, right? Wasn't there one thing where it was like, oh, he's great at baseball. He just didn't do it a lot as a child.
As a child, he was like super good at baseball, but his mom wouldn't let him do it.
Yeah, but apparently she's helping him do pull-ups now. Like, what world is this?
I don't know. That's like this plot recurs like 3 or 4 times, and it never changes from that one beat. Michael's like, I can do an exercise better than you, Joey, and then he does it, and it's in a silly way that's easier.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Joey is going to the award show, and he's excited because not only is he up for an award, he's also presenting a different award.
Whoa!
Oh my God! What an honor!
It's a big moment for him, and he's like, I'm amongst the soap stars again, even though I'm a big hotshot TV star. And one of the actors is trying to be like, oh, you think you're a big man and you can do whatever you want because you're on TV now? And he's like, yeah, thanks. And just doesn't realize the guy's being mad at him.
Yeah, that was cute.
But anyway, he's having a lot of trouble though, because one of the nominees for the award he's presenting is got a pretty hard to pronounce name. It's like Mariska Sepapodicus or something.
That sounds right.
It's not that, but it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely Mariska. The last name I don't remember. But so he keeps asking people like, how do you pronounce this? But doesn't help him. All right up until he's about to present the award, and he still can't do it. But he gets up there and he announces all the nominees. And he says her name right. And he's so excited that he says it again. He's like, yeah. But then everyone starts applauding. Oh, no, they think he was announcing her as the winner.
Yeah.
He tries to fix it, but it's too late. Everyone's just like, yay, it's her. And she comes up and accepts the award. And the whole thing goes off. And it's really funny to watch this episode in a world where we now know this wouldn't happen this way.
Right? Yeah.
Where they actually would be like, no, that wasn't the right person.
But it's just that's just how the soap, daytime Emmys are different than everywhere else. They play so fast and loose with stuff. They just do whatever.
And in fact, when Joey gets backstage, the like stage manager is like, "You dolt, you're bad at presenting, but we're gonna just go with it and pretend she won the award."
Wow.
Because everyone would be mad at us if we said otherwise.
Yeah, I mean,
again,
but, who cares? None of these matter. Do whatever.
Like, if the Oscars can do it, I think the daytime soaps can take the hit.
Yeah, that's true.
But Joey feels really bad because this other actress was supposed to win. Kimberly Evans, I think her name is.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, is she famous for stuff like, looks like she was on the show Newhart back in the day, like the Bob Newhart show, but like I couldn't tell if this was supposed to be like an actual soap opera star playing a soap opera star as like a bit. I kind of expect it might be. But
I have no idea. If it was, good for you, Joey. So Joey like tries to cheer her up. He's like, awards aren't a big deal, but she's really upset about it because her character has been killed off, so she isn't in this show anymore. She's 50. She feels like her career's over. She's like, it would have been nice to be recognized by my peers one time before it was all over, but oh well. Joey's like, oh. He tries to flirt with Mariska to get her to give the award to Kimberly, but Mariska won't do it and threatens to blackmail him if he says anything publicly.
Yeah.
That's kind of insane.
I know. She's really making moves. That's Hollywood for you, though.
That's Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood weird, if you ask me.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, Gina's got her own little subplot where everyone treats her nice because she's in a fancy dress that Alex lent her instead of in her usual like trashy dresses.
Okay.
But she meets another woman in a trashy dress and they start getting along and they're like, oh wow, this is so much fun. I guess what we learned is you shouldn't judge people by their appearance. And then the woman's like, by the way, I am actually a prostitute. And Gina's like, I guess the lesson is I should dress differently.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It was kind of a wild end to that subplot, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
What are they doing on this show, man?
Meanwhile, Joey's award comes up. He asks Kimberly not to leave because she's all still very sad. And Joey wins for best death. And he's so excited. He goes up and he accepts the award and he's like, oh, this is great. But then to make it up to her, he invites Kimberly Evans up on stage and says that she deserves the award and she can make a speech because Joey's such a good guy.
What a psychotic. Like, can you imagine if they ever did that? Just like someone was like, I'm not going to do instead someone from a completely different thing, like just that we're not even talking about. They're coming up and doing a speech because I like them a lot because I think they deserve praise. Crazy. But again, the daytime sub, you just do whatever you want.
Yeah. Who's even watching?
Yeah.
It's true.
And then there's a little post-credit scene where Michael challenges Joey to arm wrestling. And it turns out his version of arm wrestling is he uses both hands.
Yeah.
That's the joke.
Okay.
They really didn't do anything that fun with this Michael plot. Like, it's not good.
No, so, I don't know. Not a great episode of Joey, if you ask me.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
Seems like I didn't miss much.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's got like a certain kind of charm of being a soap opera.
Je ne sais quoi.
Certain je ne sais quoi, that's right. Being a soap opera like thing. So it's like, oh yeah, this isn't like every other talk show. Like this is a problem only Joey could have. So like that makes it kind of more fun than like a lot of these other episodes that are just like he's on 2 dates. But that being said, the 2 date stuff is usually just fun. And this is just not that fun. So, I think next week, if I remember correctly, is a fun one because I watched a couple in advance. So I would say if you were gonna watch one, DJ, maybe save that for the next one for episode 19. Yeah,
We're getting close to the end of season 1.
I know. It's really coming up on us. Like it's 20 we're 18 episodes in. Like, it's crazy. It's been doing this much Joey. It's crazy
But
to
again,
do this much
coincidentally,
Joey.
not on purpose.
Coincidentally,
right?
yeah. But it's crazy
It
to do
just
this much
happens to be
Joey.
relevant.
And every week someone in the Discord is like, what's the Joey thing? Like, 18 weeks of this. Like, I mean, by accident, but like, I mean, listen, we'll take anybody. We're happy to have new listeners.
Yeah,
but
apparently people just pop in sometimes, and like, yeah, it probably is pretty wild to pop into a movie podcast that makes no mention of the NBC sitcom Joey from the mid 2000s, and suddenly get a 10-minute summary of an episode of Joey.
Where's the Joey at? Everybody tweeted all your favorite podcasts. Ask them when they're gonna be brave and cover Joey.
We're ahead of the curve on this one.
Yeah.
We should cut out all these bits and then just release a Joey podcast.
The Joey cut.
With
Yeah.
just these parts.
Hell yeah.
But then in that we talk about some other thing or something like that, you know? We cut the 15 minutes of Joey, but then there's also like an hour of talking about, like, I don't know, minor league baseball or something.
Oh, I would love to talk some Rocket Pandas. We'd love to talk some Rocket Pandas. Yeah.
You mean the Trash Pandas? Are they? They're not the Rocket Pandas,
Rocket
are they?
City Trash Pandas. My bad.
The trash can looks like a rocket ship
Right,
in the
they're
logo.
the
I know what
City
you're
Trash
talking about.
Pandas. Apologies.
Yeah.
How
That'd be
dare
wild.
I? It's the worst mistake I've ever made ever.
I mean,
agree.
listen, the Rocket
Worse than the
Pandas.
Hudson.
That's right.
Yeah, worse than that shit.
But anyway, that seems like a great episode of the thing. But you know, is the Mission Impossible movie better than that?
I think so, personally.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, good. We're all in agreement. Okay, so Mission Impossible. This beginning part's going to be rough, guys. I'm sorry. There's no way around it.
Good luck, Diggins.
I don't.
But before we do, of course, because the wheel is still off on its Suicide Squad mission, it was captured by the authorities and now is part of a secret task force hooked up with a collar that will explode it if it ever tries to betray its handlers.
But of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had to sub in some other wheel replacements. So we've been trying out a bunch of them, and this week we have the mystery box.
Oh,
what's in the box?
Well, when you got something you want to say, you just shake the box, and it's gonna make a noise depending on what's in there. The thing is, we don't know what's in there.
Oh,
yeah.
We can't possibly know, and we never will. No one will ever tell us because they didn't think about it. And this is a bad way to write a story.
No, it's cool. Did you guys see the popcorn buckets for this movie, by the way?
Nope.
Speaking of mystery boxes.
Are they just Tom Cruise's head?
I wish. Oh my God.
Awesome.
I mean, I did see that's what the Matugan podcast or popcorn bucket is. It's just Matugan's head. That comes out pretty soon, by the way. It's like a June movie.
Yeah.
But no, it's like a box. It's very weird. I think it was something that was from the movie, but if it wasn't that. Like, you put the key into it, so I guess it's the thing that you put the key in.
Was it an entity? Like, was that?
It wasn't the thing from the end of the movie. Yeah, you know what? That's probably what it was supposed to be. What was that called?
The Podkova?
It was Podkova? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. That means horseshoe.
Huh.
Oh. Well, anyway.
Well, just like rabbit's foot. It's a lucky thing.
That's right, yeah.
Anyway. So if you guys have something you want to say, just shake the mystery box. Who knows what noise it will make?
Ooh.
And interrupt me. Okay, so beginning of the movie, Ethan Hunt sits down and watches a videotape. Where he got a VCR player, I have no idea.
Shut up.
Yeah. Good question. I can't remember. Where is he in this? Like, is he?
We never find out. He's just kind of in a location, and then he goes to a different one.
You evaded capture in Austria, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Well, now he's somewhere, and it is Austria, by the way. That he evaded capture, that is. he gets a tape from the President of the United States, Angela Bassett. She was the CIA director in Fallout, and now she's the president. A thing that will never happen.
President Diggins?
Oh, that too, yeah.
Sorry, I stepped on your line. What'd you say?
I think we'll get a black female president before we get a CIA director president, personally.
I think we're getting a CIA director president. You asked me 5 years ago, I'd be like, yeah. But no, now I think it's CIA director president. It would be Kash Patel. So that's pretty interesting.
That's FBI director.
Oh, wait, you're right. He's FBI director. Oh, no, that means it's Tulsi? No, she's an NSA. Who's the CIA director?
I don't know.
John Radcliffe? Is that a guy?
Oh, I
Probably.
Maybe it's good I don't know who they are.
Yeah. Sorry, John Radcliffe. We didn't mean to blow up your spot on this podcast.
Yeah,
but
if you're a listener. Anyway, she summarizes the events of the last movie, where she's like, there's an entity, and you got the key that will open up its secret weakness, and we need you to come in because the government needs to stop the evil AI before it takes over all the nuclear devices and ends the world. And also, there's a doomsday cult that worships it. This will come up a couple times, but not really.
Yeah, it seemed pretty interesting, but nah.
So, even though you're a fugitive, please come in so we can take control of the entity. We know you want to destroy it, Ethan Hunt, but that will destroy all of cyberspace.
No,
and make the world bad.
Will it? We sure?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know.
Well, I think we could use.
I think we could use a little destruction of cyberspace if you ask
me. Yeah, frankly, that only sounds good to me.
Yeah.
By the way, he does not do that. Instead, he goes to see his old buddy Luther.
Oh, real quick. I have to shake something real quick. Bing, bing, bing. That's what I don't know what's in there. Maybe like a pin or something. Somebody asked the question, hey, how the fuck do we know this is real? Like, the movie gives us the thing of like the entity can be anything and everyone. And Ethan's like, but this does sound like what the president would tell me to do. The movie forgot that the end of the last movie is the entity calling him on the phone and being like, go left, it's me, Simon Pegg. And then it tricks him to getting Rebecca Ferguson killed. But like, what's going on? But
well, maybe that's why she sent it on VCR, because it's analog and the entity can't do that.
But the entity could figure it out. The entity could make a fake thing and then put it onto a VCR. I don't know. The entity's pretty cool.
The entity couldn't make it self-destruct, right? That's a cool only
true
thing that happens from official channels.
That's right. How would the entity even know that they're supposed to do that?
In this moment when they happen in the movie, I was like, oh, there's no way this is real. Like, this is the entity trying to fuck with him. Not because of anything it said.
Based on this anyway. So it doesn't matter if it's real
it doesn't
or not.
help that much.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he goes to see Luther, and Luther's sick and also lives in a secret cave under Paris.
With a nurse? It's pretty good gigs.
Wait. Is that the nurse is there?
Yeah,
I think so, right?
Don't think about it.
Part of me thought that stuff with the nurse happens in a hospital.
No. He does have the hospital there. Because later with the bomb, he gets out of the hospital bed. This is the same place.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. That's the cross-cutting between those scenes really confused me about like what was going on with all this. But good for what's his name? Good for what's this actor's name? Ving Rhames. RBs.
Yeah, didn't have to stand up once in this whole movie, I don't think.
He
really
stands for the
didn't.
hug.
That's true. He stands for the hug.
That's true. He does stand for the hug. Yeah. There's a part where I think he's standing, and then it turns out he's not standing. The camera goes a little bit. I'm like, oh no, he's on his. Yeah, he's sitting down.
Is that what
Good for bomb? Him? Yeah. The bomb scene. I was convinced.
So Ethan goes to meet Luther. And Benji's there too, and they all reunite. Now, the movie delivers this information over several flashbacks over the next few scenes. I'm just gonna say it all now, so it makes sense.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Appreciate that.
So Luther has been working on some code that, if you combine it with the original source code of the entity, it will destroy the entity. He calls it the poison pill.
Right.
So they need to get the thing from that sub from last movie, and combine it with Luther's poison pill, and that will kill the entity because of.
Yeah.
Luther is sick though, and he can't really go on the mission. So he's just like, Ethan, take the poison pill and go do the mission. But Ethan won't give up on Luther or pulling through. So he's like, you keep the poison pill and we're gonna destroy this thing together. So he leaves the poison pill with Luther.
Good call, Ethan.
What a good
smart
guy.
Decision you made. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then he goes off to the embassy in London for information of some kind, because Gabriel is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Is this
Gabriel?
Is he trying to get Palm Clementif? Because he's like, she knows where he is.
Oh, right. First he rescues Palm Clementif. He and Benji go do mask stuff, and they rescue Paris, which is her character's name, from jail by beating up the guards. And they stop her from killing the guards because they're like, we're not trying to kill the guards. And then a guy who apparently was in the last movie, I did not know this when I watched it. Degas also joins the team because they convince him that they're doing good stuff. So with Paris and Degas on the team, they go to London because Palm Clementif says that's where Gabriel will be. While he's there, he gets stopped by Kittredge and Shea Wiggum's character, whose name I cannot remember.
Briggs, I think, if I'm looking at the IMDb reading this right. Yeah, Briggs. Yeah. We love Briggs.
Who are like NSA people or something, or CIA. I think CIA.
I was so confused. Yeah, sometimes it seems like they're CIA, and sometimes it feels like they're beat cops that are just following him around the planet. Like, because Jay Wiggum has that energy. He doesn't have CIA energy. Right, he has I
agree.
Yeah, detective energy. But good for him, like, I guess.
Ethan, we're arresting you. Except, why, it's Grace, Haley Atwell from last movie. She pickpocketed them from all their guns. So they just put them in an alcove and are like, stay away. But Gabriel's guys ambush them in the same alcove and shoot them with little tranquilizer guns.
Oh, yeah.
Little trank guns. They're captured. Oh, no. Gabriel's going to torture Grace so that Ethan will tell him something.
Does he want the coordinates? Ethan doesn't have them.
He wants, I think, somewhere along the something about how he's going to get the information, or like to get the Podkova for him.
Yes,
I think that's what it is. He's like, I want you to go get the Podkova for me, and I'm going to torture Grace until you say yes, and then keep her here until you get it. But instead, Ethan has a fake tooth and commits suicide. And Gabriel's like, no, and his guys try to revive him. But Ethan was faking, and there's a big fight scene. Gabriel runs away, but his guys get beat the hell up and then murderized.
Yeah.
And we see it from we just see the end of the fight by looking at Grace's face, and apparently it's pretty brutal.
Oh yeah, that was an interesting shot,
right?
I didn't hate it.
I thought it was funny.
It wasn't. I felt like if the movie did that instead of all the fights, then I'd be like, all right, movie. But it did enough fights that it's like that they did probably genuinely think that was cute.
Right.
But yeah.
So now Ethan and Grace are chasing after Gabriel, and they meet back up with Benji and Paris, and I think Degas.
Yeah, maybe.
Paris tries to kill Gabriel immediately because she's mad at him. Because if you remember from last movie, he suddenly tries to kill her because he's like, you're going to betray me. Because Ethan saved your life. Which then guarantees that she betrays him. Really not thinking far ahead on that one.
Good call on that one, guys.
Listen, Gabriel is not that great without the help of the entity telling him everyone's moves right before they make them.
Yeah,
And even
right.
then, he wasn't doing that great. But like,
I
man,
think
without
that
the
is
entity,
part of the movie, and I think
Yeah.
it leads to one of the funniest things in the entire franchise at the end of this movie.
oh yeah, that was yeah, I know what you mean. It was pretty good.
So they chase after Gabriel, but he locks a door behind him and gets away. But where they chased him to, they see the big trunk that he was in the train.
Oh my god, that's
Oh.
right.
Earlier. And guys, I have a mystery box here. Let me
You
just-
better.
Yeah.
If
let me
you don't,
just,
I've got one. Yeah,
weird.
got different stuff in it.
Fine,
did
DJ
that.
was right.
Nope, I was right. This was a me thing. I'm a
this is
hero,
you?
everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fine, Nando was right. Fine.
I was very right. Was I right though, or did they listen to our podcast because they were trying to figure out what the fuck happened in their movie, and then they were like, "Oh, a little coffin that lets the entity talk to you. That would be super handy." Because I think that's equally possible.
Whatever the case is, yeah, it turns out you were right. There wasn't just like a trunk that he was hiding in. It's a weird device that he uses to talk to the entity.
Such a weird
Pretty
scene.
dumb.
So dumb.
Oh, you guys, I couldn't disagree more. This
Oh,
scene
yeah.
rules.
Oh, did it? Did it
I
rule?
hated it.
It was so
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Uh-huh. What does the entity tell him?
So Paris tells him that that's what the device is, and Ethan
Right.
climbs in, puts on the little mask and closes the door, and then he talks to the face of God, who tells him, who reveals in divine prophecy that the world will end in 3 days or whatever.
Abandon all
Mhm.
hope. You went to.
Their time has come.
Their time
Which-
has come.
Good
It is
point,
written.
entity. Yeah.
And that Ethan will be the one who, does the final thing that lets it all happen by letting the entity into the doomsday shelter in South Africa.
Mm.
And that all his dudes will die in a submarine explosion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. If only. Oh man. If only the entity was right about any of this and not just lying.
The entity is right about the first thing I said.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, that part it's technically right. That's the thing with the entity as a villain here. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's so. I don't know.
Because like Gabriel's supposed to be our fleshy villain, but he's not interesting enough. And then the entity is like
Also,
a bad villain with a bad plan.
The entity has cut Gabriel out because Gabriel failed, did not get the cruciform
Right.
key.
But he is still our fleshy bad guy.
yeah.
in
But
this
I'm
movie.
saying now he and the
Yeah,
entity
yeah.
are separate antagonists. Gabriel is
Right.
trying to get all the stuff so he can control the entity instead of working with it.
I think the entity is very bad and stupid. Right.
I love this scene because it is so wild and like so religiously coded. Like the entity is, they call the rabbit's foot the anti-god.
The
Yeah.
anti-god, yeah. Was it called that in its movie?
I'd never seen 3. I don't know.
So like there's a flashback where they're kind of going over like rabbit's foot, this thing, and one of them is like Benji, I think, saying anti-god, and I'm like, I don't think they called it that in that movie because they didn't call a rabbit's foot anything. It was just a rabbit's foot. So I'm like, maybe that was from a different movie. But again, this is why like this is why we can't trust anything, not even our own eyes and ears, because the entity could just insert whatever lines it wants in a Mission Impossible and trick you into thinking it was in one of the other movies. But yeah,
So,
I
yeah.
couldn't figure that one out.
There is a
Also-
kind of like religious doomsday bent to this movie in a way
Mhm.
that I just found. I don't know that how much it meant anything, but I found it very fun and silly.
Like, that's fine. I think what I chafe at is if I'm taking the movie at its word, like what the entity is doing doesn't line up at all with its plan. So, okay, the entity is fabricating information to stir chaos among nations. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really see any of that play out. And even like,
Mhm.
and like,
Mm.
hey, like, spoiler, I know we're doing it, but everyone doesn't blow up from nukes and die, right? Ethan Hunt finds a way, as he does in all these movies, which fine.
It'd be
but, like,
so crazy if they ended the series with he fails and the world ends in nuclear fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But like they kill the entity and then it just like the world sets back. But like that's definitely not what would happen. Like everything would still be chaos, right? Like
We
they couldn't
gotta
go be
open
like,
up
we did it.
again.
We killed the entity. Everyone, now you can believe everything you see in here. Also, all you well, get the fuck out of here. But like what the entity is saying is like, oh, you have this plan and I'm architecting it. Everything is written, blah, blah, blah. But it's not in line with anything that's going on in the real world.
Yeah, especially because at one point they do specifically use the term, it has formed a doomsday cult. And I'm like, oh, so there's a pro-entity side of this that isn't what Gabriel's on, but like some other faction is going to start interfering. And I guess that's that one guy.
The two guys, yes.
Oh, the two guys. Who's the other one?
At the very end.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But I was kind of more interested in that. I guess the point of yours that I think is interesting is like, it knows he's like, it's right that he's going to get into the bunker, but it's wrong about how.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like, you're just going to come here. We're going to have a big old chat. That's a big thing that I cannot believe that, and he says that like doesn't come to fruition, is that Ethan, you will have to make a choice. Come meet me in the bunker. We're going to talk and you're going to decide the fate of the world. Ethan never hits the bunker. Ever. He never goes in. Like,
that's true.
It's wild, the inconsistencies. Like, that's my problem, right? The nitpicks, whatever. Just the huge inconsistencies of like the movie forgot what the plot was. And it's one of crazy.
It's one of those villains that can be like, that was the plan though. You know, I had actually calculated 18 moves ahead, and I knew if I said you would meet me in the little basement, that would mean I would get you on the plane, which, now, I mean, he doesn't want
it's
to
just never addressed,
happen.
It's never addressed.
The thing. I mean, that isn't really what they do, you're right, but like, that wouldn't bug me that much with the AI, whose whole thing is like, it's an algorithm that thinks a billion times better than a human and like can do all these crazy contingency plans. I find it much more annoying when it's because Jason Momoa read the script.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say because it's when fucking Tim Blake Nelson has done all the probabilities.
Yeah,
he knows there's a 75% chance that you're gonna try to turn it into the Hulk or whatever.
That's also stupid, yes.
Because that reminded me a lot of that too.
Yeah, like that's fine. I just wish that a showdown was going to happen as promised, right? The Ethan. Like,
did you think it would be like a robot guy?
I think
I don't know.
You're right that this scene maybe writes some checks that the movie does not end up cashing.
Yeah, that's all.
It does the thing too where it shows him scenes from the movie too, and like some of them are lies and stuff, but also it makes him watch the movie and then electrocutes him or something when he rewinds the movie.
If Ethan resists, then he gets electrocuted.
Yeah.
By the way, if I'm the entity, I am just trapping Ethan in there and starving him to death because it doesn't seem like there's a way that Ethan can get out. In this pod, he's purely at the entity's mercy.
But the entity needs Ethan to let it into the Doomsday Bunker.
Right. That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, so Ethan comes out and is like, that was scary. Don't go on the ice. Not important.
Nope. Yeah, I forgot about that too.
Yeah.
But then the whole team rushes off, or no, Ethan just rushes off because the entity also showed him that Gabriel was up to some shit with Luther. And we see that does play out more or less as the entity showed. Gabriel has showed up in Luther's underground hospital room. And has stolen the poison pill, killed his nurse, and set up one of his big nuclear bombs from the last movie.
What the fuck is this?
I need shake. Thank you both. Shake. Oh my god, it's my mystery box,
this.
and it's Acme nukes. I just like if they weren't the size of like big old bombs, then I'm like, is Gabriel fucking dragging it? Like,
yeah, it's like a forklift somewhere. Bumping around.
I would believe it if it was like a little grenade-sized nuke. It's like, yeah, there's like some little plutonium in here that chain reaction. It would do some damage, right? Like, I don't need the big old, the big old oh my god, the Mario Bullet Bill. I don't need the Bullet Bill size
No.
nuke.
I need them to be big and dumb.
I mean, it's pretty big, and yeah, I feel like it's big enough that you could hide a man sitting in a chair behind it. So maybe that's its main purpose. But also, it could just be on a table. Didn't something like this happen in one of the other ones too? In like the last one,
Well,
there
Gabriel
like a
had these
scene in
same nuke bombs things.
right? But there's a scene in an airport where like there's a nuke or something, right?
Yeah. That was from the last one.
But it's as big as a suitcase.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd say like a trunk, I think.
But like it's luggage size.
Wasn't it in
Yes.
luggage? Yeah, like it's in like I guess like a
trunk.
one of those checked
Right.
bag. But yeah, so then
Not this
why does he get this one? Yeah. It's weird too, because like what did Gabriel want? Gabriel just sucks. That's really is like the plot or like the theme.
This is like Gabriel's like, I gotta prove a point. It's like, ha, I got the poison pill, and also fuck you, Ethan. You're gonna have to watch Luther die, right? You know, with my big old nuke. You know.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
Luther-
they even talk about it when Ethan catches up with Luther. They're like, Gabriel doesn't need me anymore. He's got the poison pill, but he still needs you. So he set this up so that you'll live and I won't.
And like, thank God that Luther, even at the end, is like, I gotta do the right thing. Because could you imagine if Luther's like, you know what? I'm just gonna let this thing fucking go off.
Come on. How big of a dick do you need to be like, I literally can't survive this, and I can spend my final moments either doing nothing or making sure millions of other people don't die.
That was like the villain of Tenet. Was his whole bag.
Oh, I miss
like,
Tenet.
I'm dying, so fuck the world.
That's true.
Mhm.
Well,
I guess-
luckily Luther's a good boy.
Right. Yeah,
I'm more
Luther's a good boy.
confused about what Gabriel wanted from this interaction. Because let's say
they say he's killing Luther so that they can't just make another poison pill.
Yeah.
Sure. But like best case scenario, like when we watch the movie, it goes about as well as it can possibly go. And Tom Cruise almost gets killed by the explosion.
That's true.
And if Tom Cruise gets killed by the explosion, game over. Why does he not just kill Luther
Mhm.
and then take the thing and then go? Like,
Well,
he's not trying to destroy the mines, right? Or does he want to do that because it's where the secrets are?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I could figure that out.
I mean, this is a lot cooler. That's probably why.
It is cooler, and it's just, yeah, it's Gabriel, man. But like, I guess if this was the entity, I'd be like, oh, it wanted to teach Ethan a lesson about sacrifice or something. But because it's Gabriel, I'm like, he just does this shit. Like,
You're
he
also
didn't think it
banking
through.
on this old man who is ill, not like fucking up, right? Like,
Yeah,
what if
well,
he slips? Wrong wire.
We've learned
Boom.
you cannot die if the bomb is still going. That your body will keep you alive under any circumstances. So
And you could know
Yeah.
what to do, even if you've never done it. Not that this is this scenario, but there are scenarios where people talk you through it, right? You know,
it's easier than you think. You know, I guess if you know what the wires are, what's there to do?
Yeah, as long as you know what the color of the wires are, you can always figure it out.
yeah.
Assuming that the guy who makes it uses those exact colors of wires and doesn't like ever go like, oh, I don't have enough red. Let's just do some green for this one.
Always wonder that because you could run to not Radio
Well,
Shack anymore, but you could
I
run
will
to
say-
a wire store and use any color for anything.
In like standardized devices or like, you know, things that would build to plans, the wires usually are color coded because you need to be very specific about what goes where and what doesn't.
Yeah,
Oh, for
green
sure.
is ground. Black is also sometimes ground. Red is yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there must be a movie where some villain did this and they were all just green or something, and it was like,
Haha.
Fuck.
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
No. Anyway,
I'm just Gabriel,
Anyway.
man.
Gabriel did it. He got his big
Anyway.
old nuke and he taught Ethan
He
a fucking
did it.
lesson.
Taught Ethan a
Yeah.
lesson that was sacrifice yourself to save everybody.
Mhm.
It's kind of a lesson you figure Gabriel wouldn't want to teach Ethan, but I guess that's what are you gonna do?
Well, it's very sad, but Luther, after being in all of these movies, or at least having been in the first one, I
Yeah,
don't know if he's in 2 and 3, but he's in every other
He's
one.
in all of them. Him
He's
and Tom
definitely
Cruise
in
are the
3.
only two. Him and Tom Cruise are the only two who are in all of them.
Nice. Good
Yeah.
job, Luther.
Mhm.
Well, he disarms the nuclear portion, but he still blows up from the bomb portion, and Rip in peace, Luther.
Mhm.
So now Tom Cruise is hopping mad because Luther's dead. And they've made a plan that they have to go to this like little weather station to get because that would have recorded when the submarine sank. So that will have the
Right.
coordinates for where the submarine is. But before that can happen, Ethan gets arrested by the CIA guys, Kittredge and
Jesus
Briggs.
Christ. Yeah.
And he gets taken to the Mount Weather Station or whatever the like presidential bunker thing, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Where he gets brought before the president and all the other national security people, and they're like, Ethan, you gotta go do the thing for us. This is the cruciform key that we took from you, and you gotta do the thing. And Ethan's like, I'm not gonna do the thing, President Angela Bassett, because we need to destroy the entity. Otherwise, it'll be bad. And she's like, it'll be bad if you do that, and instead we control it. That would be the good thing. And Ethan's like, no, I won't do it. So she's like, send him to jail. Send him to forever prison. So they take him away, and everyone's all like, we're going to have to do a nuclear strike if the entity takes over all the other countries, because the entity is slowly hacking all the nuclear arsenals in the world. There's only a few nuclear capable countries, and it's hacking all of them.
And Jarvis isn't there to help, so it can do it.
Yeah.
If they had a Jarvis, it'd be better. That's why they need their own entity.
This movie acknowledges that Israel is a nuclear-capable country, a thing they refuse to admit.
Yeah, that's true. You even see their little flag on one of the bombs. As if that's the rule. You got to put the flag on your bomb.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
so everyone
you'll
knows
never
where
know
it came
which
from.
one it is. Yeah. Is this the scene, by the way, where I love this bit, where the characters, one character, I can't remember which one, keeps bringing up all the things that Ethan's done that's bad.
Yeah.
Then another character's like, but actually, we were the bad guys in that one. And then just keeps going.
All the national security people are reading his file, and they're like, this is crazy. And Kittredge is like, well, this is why he did it.
Yeah, where were you guys 3 movies ago? Every time this guy has to go rogue, it's like, there's got to be somebody that's just keeping track of that. They keep fucking him over. But, I mean, that's government for you. And especially these government guys. Nick Offerman, too. He's in this now.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember him?
Wormed his way in. No stash.
Remember Civil War? That was in that.
I remember Civil War. That was a good movie.
He's the president in that one.
Yeah, real downgrade for him on this one.
Mm-hmm.
He's a 4-star.
Although it ends up a little better, all things considered.
Yeah,
well, actually, not really that much different.
Well, I would say the circumstances are very different.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, Ethan gets taken away, and everyone's like, so yeah, when the entity's done hacking all the other countries, because it'll come for us last, because our security is so cool and good, you guys.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh man, that used to be true, but we fired all those guys. Oh no. We secretly run our whole security system through PEPFAR. Oh no, get rid of all those guys. What does it even do? We don't need this anymore.
SpaceX doesn't have its contracts up yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, maybe that's what it is though. The entity's like, I'll get in through their Starlink, and then it keeps crashing.
That's
why
our plan.
would they put the whole system on this? We don't know. I thought it would work.
Damn. So they're like, we're gonna nuke stuff, but it turns out Ethan wasn't being brought to forever jail. He was being brought to a helicopter that will take him to the aircraft carrier he was saying he needed.
Oh.
So that they can go to the Arctic and find the sub, because the president does trust him after all. And so he gets brought to an aircraft carrier where he gives a secret note to the captain that's like, or admiral, that's like, you were somehow connected to the first movie. And Tom Cruise is like, wow, how? And she's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Honestly, the first time I saw... Wait, we're talking about... What's her name? We're talking about Ted Lasso over here?
Yeah, Hannah
now?
Waddingham.
Yeah. When I saw her the first time in this movie, I was like, oh, was she the blonde woman that was just in that other room with him? And then I had to be like, go on my phone and be like, no, there's 2 different ones of these. But cool, like her. She's great.
Mm-hmm.
American accent in this, which was weird. But that's how we do it.
That's how we do.
That is how we do.
So she agrees to help him go get to a submarine. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is doing their part of the mission, which is they go to that weather station so they can get the sub data. And they get there, and Grace starts telling a lie about why they need the data, but Benji freaks out because this is Bill Donlow, you guys, from Mission Impossible 1.
Oh,
apparently. And that's great. I think this one, I like this actor more than I like most of the other actors in these. Like Kittredge, I'm like, he's fine. But this guy was good.
I thought this was kind of nice because it was just like such a small thing from the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is a guy, what's the actor's name? Rolf Saxon.
Yeah, that's it.
And he does stuff. But I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, he's on this island, this Alaskan island in this weather station. He's apparently married a local in the 30 years he's been here. Her name is Takisa.
Aww.
That's right.
Her grasp of English fluctuates wildly.
Yeah, well, it's the entity for you.
I know, right?
You can't even believe the English people would know.
But so Bill Donlow figures out that they're, spy people because Benji knows who he is and he did CIA stuff. But they're still cool until the Russians show up. Oh no.
Oh no.
The Russians are also after the sub because they have their own cruciform key and they want to control the entity.
It's good they had one. Apparently there was only one. It's good they had one too.
Why were there 2 keys?
I mean, in the defense of this plot point, the Russians built that sub and made those keys. If they just still had the casts, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. No, it does make sense, I guess. It's very... Yeah.
I just, until they knew it was important, why would they bother? It was a
I guess it's
sub
fair.
that was at the bottom of the ocean.
Fucking Putin called in from the Kremlin. You find that fucking key mold, you fucks. This is so important. I'll fucking kill you. They're like, this fucking key mold was from 15 years ago. Fuck you want, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, they would definitely be like, which key mold? And they, that weird key that sticks together into one key. That we talk about that all the time as the dumbest key we ever made. You want that one?
Well, anyway, so the Russians are all holding them hostage, but they have to sort through. Well, first they have to build a floppy disk reader because that's all what all the old information is stored on. And then they have to sort through all of it to find the coordinates for the event where the sub sank. Meanwhile, Ethan, they send a message to a submarine that's near the area they think the sub will be, and drop Ethan off in the ocean. They were going to wait, but there's some Russian jets that are buzzing them, and they're they're gonna maybe fire on us if we stay. So Ethan just jumps into the ocean.
Yep.
But fortunately,
yeah,
he would die instantly. That water is so cold. You'd get hypothermia immediately.
It's so cold that at one point part of the plot is just he'll freeze to death, but it's okay because then we'll fix it. But yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I should go over, because they have said it at this point. The whole plan is Ethan will use this sub to go down into the ocean and get the Podkova using the key. And then he will start surfacing. He will have extremely bad bends because he will have to surface rapidly, and it's pretty far down. And also, he doesn't have enough time, so he'll also start drowning.
Yep.
Then the rest of the team will be waiting up on top of the ice. They will chainsaw open the ice, take out the drowning, extremely benzed Ethan, and place him in a depressurization, a portable depressurization chamber that they have, where you can sit and just slowly get used to regular pressure again. so that your bends will go away.
Mm-hmm.
And also they'll resuscitate him because he drowned.
Pretty cool.
So that's the successful version of the plan. But yeah, the sub people come and they get him, and the sub captain is like, "You're crazy," and this is Milchick.
Oh, we love Milchick. Sounds
Yeah, I love
Milchick
this.
too. It's like, sir, what are you doing on my ship, mister?
He's even the manager of the submarine.
Yeah.
Like, he's in charge of the
He's the
submarine.
floor manager.
Lubin.
Submarines only
Yeah.
have one floor.
They have
right?
one guy. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought he was really fun in this movie.
Oh,
I do too.
fuck yeah.
I think he was great.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was a line I liked, but I can't remember what it was. Oh wait, no. At one point, he had a line that was like, something about the plan, and then he was like, "Wait, what is your plan?" I don't remember what exactly the line was, but whatever it was, he delivered it well, and I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
No dancing though, which was a bummer. Because I liked it
don't
when
know
he
how they would've
danced in all those
twisted it, though.
severances. I know.
Like, how would they
Maybe
make
like
it
a
happen?
post-credit scene or something, or like have him dance in the credits. Yeah, like sometimes, I mean, it wouldn't make sense in this movie, but like sometimes they'll just show all the cast members dancing. You'll be like, oh, they had fun. Have that just in. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, so there's a whole little sub thing going on here, a whole little cast of characters. Ooh, having fun with them. They have their special little diving suit that helps with the pressure, so it'll be good for Ethan. But it's experimental, so, dangerous.
Oh yeah, this is one of the other Ant-Man actors. Is the one from or the Marvel actors is fuck is her name? The strong lady. She was in Ant-Man 3 as like one of the natives of the quantum realm or something.
Oh,
She's in like all this shit. She shows Katie O'Brien is her name. Had a little cameo in here too.
Oh, from Love Lies Bleeding?
That's right, yeah. Yeah, and Jen Thora, as we all know from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yeah, of course, we all remember that character.
She was a big, strong woman or something. I don't remember. She was a good guy.
Yeah, Gentora. We all know.
Yeah, she's friends with Claus. But yeah, that was another cameo. That was like, oh yeah, her. When you guys were watching this, were you like, does he need two suits? Because I was like, I thought they explained I guess two suits is better than one, but I think he needs that other one.
I think in the other plan, it was just like he's gonna have a regular wetsuit because they didn't know about this super special, good for deep pressure suit.
Oh sure, I guess. I mean, did he need two decompression like options? Like when he says like that was never part of the plan. I'm like, yeah, I know. They told me what the other plan was, but I guess I don't know. The way the movie revealed that was a little weird. I liked it. I thought it was cute.
The sub people thought he was going to come back on the sub,
right?
But like him saying like, yeah, I was never going to do that anyway.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Because they did say like, you got to bring it back to us or something.
Yeah, but they can't stay around because a big Russian sub is following them. So if they stop, then the sub will know that that's an important place. So they just drop Ethan off. Also, while he's exercising in his underwear at one point, one of the sub crew members tries to stab him with a big knife, and he cuts some of the decompression chamber tubes. So a bunch of fog is blowing everywhere. It's really cool.
Who and why is this man?
He's a
the entity.
Cultist. He spends too much time on the internet, DJ.
On the sub? They made its way down here. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, presumably sometime in the past 2 months they weren't on the sub.
I don't know, man. I just like they had to get a guy, and they're like, oh, okay. I don't know.
I mean, my question is like, did the entity, like, was the entity like, if you ever see this guy, by the way, go ahead and stab him, like, please and thank you, like that's the entity plan? Or because I guess they kind of know what he's doing there, but like this isn't one of those situations where the entity has like a little headphone that's like, go get him now. This guy has to decide, like, I think what my god wants me to do is kill this man. So cool. He gets also a brutal, not death, because this doesn't kill him, but he gets treadmilled to death for a little bit, and that was cool.
Fucking gnarly. But meanwhile, on the island, everyone's still being held hostage by the Russians, but Bill Donlow reveals to Benji that the information they're looking for isn't on these discs anyway, because shortly after the subs thing happened, some guys showed up, upgraded his systems, and like cleared all the data, but he didn't tell them about the backups. So he looked through all the backups to find the thing that they must have been looking for, found the event, memorized the coordinates, and then destroyed the disk. So he writes the coordinates on a piece of paper, puts it in his watch, and then gives his watch to his wife when she goes to feed the huskies, because the Russians are like, fine, you can go feed the sled dogs. And Grace goes to help her. While they're in there, Tapisa, who is Bill Donlow's wife, hits the Russian soldier with a shovel, and then everything pops off. Everyone shoots each other. Paris saves Degas's life, and you're like, oh, she's really one of the team now. Hooray.
Mm-hmm.
And one Russian... I'm going to shake the mystery box for this, because this delighted me so much. It's so minor, but let's see. We've got a...
Oh, shit.
What was in there?
It's like a whoopee cushion or something.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, this random Russian's tactical dodge roll, which is to say,
oh yeah, okay,
somebody starts shooting at this one Russian guy, and so he dives straight through a bookcase.
Yeah,
that was
through the
tight.
Shelves, just destroys them, and barrel rolls right onto the other side. It's so crazy. Why would you do that this way?
That was funny, especially because like that scene, this whole thing is taking place in what I assume is a pretty small house. There's like that shot of that guy destroying the bookcase, and I'm like, oh, don't break their bookcase. And then they go to the next shot, and it's Pablo Clemente, just the whole other side of the place is on fire. And I'm like, oh, never mind, all that's gone. But I guess at a certain point, he's like, I've always wanted to jump through a bookcase, and there's no way this place is gonna not be, in flames in a minute. So
seems fun.
Let's go, baby. That seems fun.
Yeah.
I
mean,
that role was funny.
If I was a Russian special forces guy, then I would be like, man, I haven't been allowed to dodge roll through a bookcase my entire time here. This sucks.
Yeah, you're probably hearing all the stories of what Mission Impossible guys are doing too. All the cool shit with like jumping off of planes and all that, and then you like get in that service, and you have to stand around with a gun. And when you get a second, you're like, hell yeah, I'm Ethan Hunt now. But you're not Ethan Hunt.
Me. But yeah, the cabin's on fire, so they got to get out, but not before Bill Donlow messages the coordinates to Ethan Hunt, so he knows where to go. Hooray!
Yeah,
because they set up a whole like radio check-in thing, so they managed to do that. So Tom Cruise / Ethan Hunt is off there. Tapisa and Grace, meanwhile, take off on a sled to go to those same coordinates because it was in the watch, so they know where to go. There's an extremely brief misdirect where it's like the coordinates are in South Africa. Oh wait, he just reversed them so that in case the Russians were listening. And I'm like, I'm sure the Russians also figured that out immediately, guys.
Yeah, like clever, but not foolproof.
It doesn't matter though. Ethan gets to the sub. He puts on his special suit and swims underwater. And there's a whole thrilling sub sequence here. I don't think you need me to go by it play by play. I really like this sequence. I'm gonna shake the mystery box again, if you don't mind. And just do a ooh, this one's heavy. And just go. I would have said like he's like 3 layers of dead, right?
I guess so, but
maybe 5. Can we talk about all the ways he's dead?
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
First dead, he ditches the suit.
No, that's not my first dead.
I feel like that's pretty far.
What's the first? Wait, what's the first one?
I don't know, but I know the suit's late in the game.
The first dead is when he's in the torpedo room while all the torpedoes are jostling around because the sub is slowly rotating off of the continental shelf.
Yeah, that's a dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that happening because he opened the door and it's filling
Yeah,
with
I think
water?
because he like drains some of the water or like shifts it around, and I think that shifts
Okay.
the weight of the sub and makes it
Sure.
start rolling.
Whatever.
That makes sense.
Okay, so yeah, that's one dead. I do think. Yeah, go ahead, Dickens.
I mean, there's the fact that he's this deep underwater with this much pressure without being properly
Right.
prepared for it in the first place.
No, that suit takes care of that. You have to buy into the premise of like
and stuff.
I don't like
All
the
right,
deads where it's like you've broken your own rules, right?
Okay, fair enough. You know what? You're right, DJ. I concede that one.
So, but I agree with Torpedoes that he's dead a couple times via crushing or maybe they should explode or something. But yeah, he's getting thrown around by very heavy things. So that's a dead.
Then, the torpedoes trap him in the starting to fall sub because one coincidentally like jams the door shut. And then he has to. So yeah, he has to get through the through a torpedo hole, but his suit is too bulky. So yes, this is where you were talking about where he cuts open his wetsuit, exposes his skin to the freezing cold Arctic water.
Fucking instant dead. There's no
hundreds of
way.
feet under the surface. So this isn't even like the surface cold. This is even colder.
Well, but he's in the submarine, so he's got nice warm submarine, heat going on. You turn that thing on and it gets to a nice 70, 71 degrees in there.
What they don't tell you is that he's pissing constantly during this scene, just warming up all the water around him.
But also, like, you assume the suit is helping with the pressure parts too, right? Like,
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. It's not just
100%.
the gases.
So
you
now
can't take the suit off.
That's fucking him up. So that's layer of dead. So now he crawls through a torpedo tube, fine, with just the mask in the tank. Then he's in the open water, dead now. Now he's dead.
And also, I feel like he's climbing out of the torpedo hole while the sub is falling. Like, I don't know how he is correctly orienting himself at all at this point.
That's a good point too. Yep. But let's say he gets out. It's just his skin. He's got the tank somehow. But then it catches, right? And now he's falling.
Yeah,
with the
there's like
sub.
a falling piece of rock or sub or something that the air tank catches on. And so he has to take off the air tank too. And he's just holding his breath like hundreds of feet underwater, swimming up to the frozen solid surface.
Again, this is the plan. He dies underwater and then they bring him back to life.
Not that far underwater. He dies close to the surface.
And not naked with no air tank. I don't think that was part of the plan either.
Like at that point, the decompression chamber like doesn't matter. Like Ethan gets to the surface and he's just bones. They're like, oh shit, it's just Ethan's bones. He dissolved.
This is what I'm talking about with the like 3 levels deeper than most people go with the plan going wrong. I feel like most movies would end with like, oh no, he's trapped in here and he has to get out of the torpedo hole. They wouldn't do cuts open the wetsuit and ditches the air tank.
But Ethan Hunt is that good at the age of 60.
Fortunately, Grace and Tapisa got there on time, so they cut open the ice and they put him in the depressurization chamber, and Grace cuddles him until he's warm again. This is what you are supposed to do with someone who's hypothermia-ing. You're supposed to do skin-to-skin contact, so that there wasn't no reason for this.
And that's as close as this movie gets to like that. Like
they sort of like tenderly look at each other, and like I think he puts his hand on her cheek, and you're like, oh, is it happening? And then it doesn't.
And then the movie's like, there's an explanation for this scientifically. This is what you would do in an emergency.
I mean, the movie never does say that. I'm just saying. Tapisa does give us a big old wink though, so you know there's something.
Yeah, that was cool. I like the scene where they were having their tender moment, and then he looks at her and goes, "Who the fuck is this?" Like, I know I've been gone for a little while, and I know we pick up stray members of the team pretty easy these days, but this seems like a little bit outside of the guy we usually end up with.
Is this the new Benji? What's going on?
Yeah, they're usually supermodels now. I don't know if you've seen the crop we're taking in, but you're maybe a Mission Impossible 2 like normal guy kind of person, but yeah, Benji barely even counts. But yeah, she brings it back to life with kisses and hugs.
Well, with hugs at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then the rest of the team shows up in a little plane and they all fly away and they're like, we did it. We got the Podkova. You guys, we just have to go to South Africa and do the end of the movie. But they're like, how are we going to do it? And so the way it works is... Sorry. So apparently the entity, despite being like an online being or whatever, also physically exists in cyberspace or something, because it needs to get into the Doomsday Vault so that it will survive the nuclear apocalypse.
Right.
I don't know.
So it won't launch the nukes until it gets into the Doomsday shelter in South Africa. It's apparently this big like bunker that like we have backups of all of Earth's information in like a deep vault that will survive an apocalypse,
including the Mission Impossible movies, probably.
Yeah, they better. Yeah.
I hope so. I have no idea if this is real or not. If Mission Impossible made it up, I don't know.
This is kind of like that bit in Avengers Age of Ultron where they go to the internet room and Tony just types on the internet room computer and he's like, and everybody leaves the movie. You go, there's not a real internet room, is there? And it's like, no, this is that. Age of Ultron should sue this movie. I mean, and a lot of stuff.
Again, I'm just saying there's a real seed vault.
Mm-hmm.
There is a real seed vault.
That is real, yeah. Although I think we stopped maintaining it or something like that. I think that also got doged. I remember seeing the seed vault ain't looking so hot.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we won't need any of those plants. Anyway, so the entity needs to get into the vault. So they need to let it in at the same time as they are set up inside with a like a 5-dimensional USB drive that Luther made.
Oof. Yeah. I mean, listen, cool, fine. But yeah. So with the way the god's like a 5D drive.
They need to let it in and then have it be in there long enough that it gets inside the drive, but not long enough that it can launch the nukes and take the drive out in that tiny time period, which turns out to be 100 milliseconds.
That's right.
At the same time, Ethan's like, I'm going to give the poison pill to Gabriel.
Right, because Gabriel's there.
In order to control the entity, Gabriel has to put the poison pill on the Podkova. But that will also work for our purposes because it will destroy all traces of the entity outside of the Doomsday Vault. So if we do both of these things together, then the entity will be destroyed everywhere except for in this little USB drive where it will think it succeeded and live in a fantasy world that it worked, but actually it's just in this drive.
By the way, why does mixing the poison pill with the Podkova do what they need it to do?
Shut up.
Shut up. That's fine. Also, how does it just all stay inside the 5D drive? Shut up.
Shut up.
It just does.
Well,
this is the point where I'm like, nothing about this actually makes any sense if you think about it at all. But they told me what needs to happen, and that's all I need.
But you assume the entity would live in a little box somewhere also, right? Like that it's all rushing to the Doomsday Vault, right? Like,
I mean, I guess not, because it's not like, because it's not like a computer, because otherwise you'd also figure it would just be in a satellite or something, And like it'd be like, even if it destroys the whole planet, then
realistically, it's a bunch of code. It doesn't need to exist anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
My other thing is like when they say this plan, at no point is it like, and then when we have the little stick with the entity in it, we're just gonna get a hammer and we're gonna smash it real good.
They can't, because that would ruin the world's cyber whatever.
Maybe this is why cyberspace isn't destroyed, because they do
once it's in the little thing.
I don't know.
This part lost me, but
entity
you're
can't be
right. The
destroyed 'cause
cyberspace thing,
It would destroy cyberspace.
right? But the
But yes.
entity is like fully locked out of like everything else.
Yes.
Right?
Once the entity is
Okay.
in the drive, it can't control anything.
Okay, so yeah,
I gotcha.
destroy it, right? How does destroying
Yeah.
it destroy cyberspace once it's in the jar?
I mean,
I
you
feel
probably
like-
should destroy it. I don't know.
Just destroy it anyway. Yeah. What is guys get try to steal it?
What are you gonna do without
You know?
cyberspace, Nando? How will we record
Fucking-
podcasts?
That's
On
true.
like a little, gramophone or something, and like we'll figure out a way.
We'll send vinyls to all of our fans.
Yeah,
What about
people did it
TikToks?
before then.
Be no more TikToks.
Oh, you're right. That would be a
Be
shame.
like those Station 13 people. We'll just go around
Yeah.
storing short form comedy, and that'll be the new
Mhm.
TikTok.
Yeah. That'd be great. Oh my god. Yeah. Just like sketches where a guy turns and then does the sketch to himself, and then it's like that's what TikTok is. But then in real life.
Uh,
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the plan. They get there, and Gabriel is there, and he's like, "You've gotta give me the stuff because I've set up a bomb." Another one of my crazy
One of his
nukes.
little Gabriel bombs. Like he's fucking Mega Man or like
I'm dragging him from place to place. I just always set them up.
Well, he does have guys in this scene. To be
He
fair.
does have guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has people just dragging nukes from place to place. He pays them.
Mhm.
Just nuke dragger.
And he's like, "Give me the stuff," and they're like, "Okay," because they're like, "Haha, he thinks we don't want this, but actually we do." But the CIA shows up. They've been tracking Ethan.
Oh my god. Yeah, they just cannot do anything right.
And they arrest it, or they try to arrest everybody, including Gabriel. And they're like, "You're finished, buddies. Give us the Podkova. We're going to do all the stuff. We're going to control the entity, and it's all going to be cool." But the Russians are there, and they knife a bunch of the, snipers that the CIA set up. And so Gabriel, noticing that the snipers are no longer in position, has his guys do a surprise attack so he can drive away
Gabriel.
in a big old Jeep. But he doesn't have the Podkova, so they're not going to be able to do the poison pill and the Podkova now. So Ethan steals the Podkova back from the CIA guys, and he takes off in another Jeep, while the others are like, "Go, we'll solve the problem here. We'll do the vault stuff. You go get the poison pill." And when he leaves, Benji's like, "It's a good thing he left because I got shot big style."
Yeah. Real quick, my the whatever mystery box is rattling around, and it just made one single wow. So that may be, I think whatever's in there died. I just want to say there was a line in here that I thought was one of the lines in here that I thought was the epitome of like why Gabriel just doesn't work for me. Do you guys remember when Ethan tells him that he's gonna give him the drive? Like Ethan is like gone over, like they got caught, and he's like, "Oh, I will make a deal if you give me the drive. I won't kill everybody, and I'll take over the entity." And then Ethan's like, "I'm gonna give you the drive." Do you remember what he says?
No.
He said something that almost sounds like, I don't remember if this is exactly it, but it's like, "Well, now you're talking my language." Like, this guy's so dumb. He thinks they're actually gonna be friends with him for this. Like, "Oh, I convinced them. All right, pretty good." Another line that he has that this part I remember very well. As he's driving away from Ethan, he tells Ethan, "Catch me if you can, Ethan." Because he's a fucking Batman villain now.
Oh, I
He
love
just sucks. I don't
I agree.
I have
I
nothing
will
against
say-
the actor, but this character just does not have the juice.
I did not care for him in the previous movie. I feel like this one, he kind of just does whatever in a way that I thought was funny.
Yeah, that's fair. He really does.
But like it's like Bond villain, but like the camp is turned up to like 11. Right.
I guess the problem is like all the rest of these villains, I'm like, oh man, how's Tom Cruise gonna kill that guy? And in this one, I'm like, I don't know if that guy will be able to fly his own plane without crashing it. Like he just doesn't seem competent.
Yeah.
Compared to like
Gabriel-
Henry Cavill or
with his magic reloading arms.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, and the other one who was just such a badass. You were like, that guy, he fuck up anybody. But with this, I'm like, he can't be the final boss of Mission Impossible. He just can't. But he is. Just stick around long enough, and maybe you'll be the final boss of Mission Impossible.
Damn, there's
pretty
a
good.
lesson in there for all of us.
It's because the entity can't hold a gun.
That's right.
It's just
But it
make-
can,
Yeah.
right? Those little dogs or something, right? Or like that robot that could do a backflip. I think the entity's going to be
Like-
fine.
Yeah, I would like to see some of that in here. That'd be scary.
Mithrigan already did it. So what they have to do, they probably had a little Mithrigan doll, and Tom Cruise was like, this is great. And then someone was like, yo, they just did that in a movie. And he's like, we got to change the title of this one too. He can't win.
Damn.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Tom Cruise goes off. Bill Donlow, his wife Tapisa, and Degas stay behind to defuse the bomb. It's another Luther situation. They can defuse the nuke, but the detonator will still go off. Oh no. While Paris, Grace, and Benji go into the vault where they'll be safe from the explosion so they can do the hacking and the quantum drive thing.
Real quick question. Degas, do you remember why he doesn't go in the vault?
Because he's like, I don't want to leave them here alone to die.
Yeah, he pretty much says, like, I can't help you guys in the vault, but I can help them. And then later in the vault, Simon Pegg is like, are you a doctor? And then the French one's like, no, but I kill people. And he's like, all right, that'll do. What if this guy was a doctor? You know, that I'd be like, you can't help people in the vault, dude. You go in the vault. It's nice of you that you want to be here with the dying couple, but there are skills in there that are useful.
Well,
But anyway.
Bill Donlow does figure out in the process of diffusing the
Yeah.
bomb that he can have a 10-second delay after diffusing the nuke part before the detonators go off. So if they can get to the vault in 10 seconds, then they could live.
That part's pretty cool.
But the vault's pretty far away. 10 seconds, it's dicey. Meanwhile, inside, Paris has to do DIY surgery on Benji to fix his collapsing lung, while he talks Grace through doing the cool hacking with cutting wires and tying them together and stuff. Grace also has to be the one who takes the drive out because she's a pickpocket, a skill she doesn't really use much in this movie.
Yeah.
But so she has like very, very quick hands. So she has to try to pull the quantum drive out at the exact right moment. But they can't do that before Ethan uploads the poison pill. Speaking of Ethan, he has made it to the runway because Gabriel said that he had a plane ready to fly him away from the blast zone in case things went south. And he's already taken off when Ethan gets there. Ethan does his famous run after him, but it doesn't work. Also, the Russians showed up in their jeeps to try to stop him, but he made them crash and they died.
Yeah.
But Gabriel's number 2 guy, who I don't think has been in the movie before this scene, this whole Doomsday scene, that is there, and Tom Cruise holds on to the bottom of his plane and flies up in the air, and there's a whole thing. It's a whole kind of like in the end of Fallout when he's hanging from the helicopter, but now it's from biplanes. Sort of like crawls along the biplanes, punches guys in the face, steals their planes, and then has like a plane boxing match with Gabriel in the sky.
For real, at one point, Gabriel tries to use his plane's like rotor to cut up Ethan's plane back.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like that seems like the kind of thing that would really fuck up the first plane. Like I feel like it would be bad for that second plane too, but like I don't think the rotor can just do karate at the rest of the plane without being off balance and then exploding. But yeah, he does it.
I mean, you'd be surprised how little of those planes are actually metal.
That's true.
Those old biplanes, that is. But anyway, they have a big fight. It ends up with Ethan on his plane, and then they're both like hanging upside down from the plane. And Gabriel's like, you idiot. I'm the only one with a parachute. Bye-bye, Ethan Hunt. And then he tries to do his cool jumping off a vehicle thing. And I just want to, I got to shake the mystery box here.
I also wanted to shake this, but I'll let you do it first.
You do it.
Just shake, and open this. Oh my god, just pure gold. This was the best shit ever.
Yeah, this fucking Looney Tunes
nothing
shit.
but joy. Oh my god.
So
Man,
this
you
is
should
my
have
thing
loved
that I
this
was
because you
saying.
hated him so much.
I kind of did. I know. I thought this was very funny. I did.
I think this is one of the funniest things that happened in this franchise.
Yeah.
Because he does his like villain exit, like ha 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 ha, you'll never catch me now that I'm gonna parachute away from this plane, and he like lets go, and immediately like falls back, hits his nutsack on the tail of the plane, and then like flips the other way, and gets his head split open by the other part of the tail, and then just his corpse goes flying off.
This was such a cook. Such a cook. More than
he got so
shit.
dead.
If it was just the head, it would have been funny, but the fact that he hits his balls first is so funny.
Like Shrek would or something, you know?
It felt like it's out of place for the movie, but it's like, yeah, sure, that might as well happen, you know?
I mean, this guy, I feel like this character loves planes. The bits where he was flying plane and then attacking against Ethan, I feel like if I was that actor, he should have been saying, like I guess they were doing like plane karate where like he would grab the stick and then use the stick to trick the guy. It was just like so cool. And then he goes down like that. And it's like, man, to live by the plane, die by the plane, I guess. But it kind of seemed like you kind of knew what the plane was like 20 minutes ago. But I don't know. He's just going. He's doing his
without
best.
an AI to tell him the perfect time to jump off the moving vehicle, like last movie. This is what
true.
Happens.
Yep.
But Ethan, he managed to pickpocket the poison pill. Say that 5 times fast. And so he jumps off too, because he goes up into the other like compartment and gets the parachute, jumps off. But the plane was on fire, and his parachute, it turns out, is also on fire. So he starts falling again. And as he's falling, he's trying to like lock in the poison pill with the Podkova. And Grace is like watching it, and Benji's like dying, and it's like, oh, what is gonna happen? They're defusing the bomb. They only got the 10 seconds. And then the light flashes. Grace takes the drive off, and it's like, boom, we did it.
Nailed it. Fucking crushed it.
Good for him.
Good job, everybody.
And everybody, but like good for him that he didn't die in a big crash.
Yeah, everybody made it, turns out. Degas, Bill Donlow, and Tapisa made it to the bunker. Tom Cruise. I mean, parachutes do have secondary parachutes because parachute's something you really, really don't want to fail. So the secondary parachute saves him. Everybody lived. Everybody did their job. We did it, guys. And while Ethan is like sitting on a mountaintop, like, oh boy, I'm beat. The poison pill plays a little message from Luther where he's like, our lives are the sum of our choices. Nothing is written. You're a cool guy, Ethan, and I love you. Peace.
Pretty good.
And,
also, I guess
self-destruct in 5 seconds.
There was also I've neglected to mention a bunch of drama with the president.
I was gonna say, we didn't talk about the president at all. Which is fine.
They're like, it's not going to work out because she told him that Ethan was doing it, but they're like, he's run out of time. We have to nuke everything. And then just one last mystery box for
there's a transformer in there.
Maybe. Don't worry, guys. We'll be nuking your least favorite city.
Man,
because they decide they have to like nuke the command centers of every other nuclear capable country in order to stop the entity. So they're like, as a gesture of goodwill, we should also nuke one of our own cities. And I'm like, first of all, that's insane. How is that a gesture of goodwill if you murder a few million more people?
Help.
Well, the way they say it, they're like, and also, I think if we get away scot-free, everybody's going to think we just killed all those cities for fun. But maybe we can trick everybody into thinking the entity killed all the cities as part of its plan or something like that.
Maybe.
Also,
maybe not that, but
they probably didn't need to nuke all of those tactical centers. They could have just like regular missiled those tactical centers, right?
Probably.
I don't know. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but no, probably, yeah. They could probably just use some regular missiles.
Well,
not nukes.
Well, I would expect tactical nuclear centers to be built to withstand nukes. They'd be like deep bunkers underground, because that's the thing you don't want to fail in the nuclear event.
That's true.
I don't know. This is also stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so they're going to do it. They never say what American city they're going to nuke. They're just like, we picked this. Here's the city you picked, Madam President. And it's like, they might as well turn to the audience and be like, and it's your least favorite city.
Yeah,
member.
Shelbyville, get out of here.
Or it's like a loophole. It's like, we did, Buttsville, Montana, population 3 cows. Everyone will be like, ah ha ha.
That's Buttesville, Montana.
Buttesville.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
She decides not to do it. She's like, nuking and killing hundreds of millions of people seems like a bad thing, actually. So she's like, I'm just going to turn all our nukes offline so that the entity can't hack them. And I'm like, I can't believe you haven't done that before. I mean, they do say why. It's a prisoner's dilemma thing. They're like, everyone could have done this at any time, but then they're worried that, the other countries would nuke them because now they're nukeable.
Right.
But she gets delayed because one of her Secret Service members is a cult member and tries to shoot her, but Nick Offerman dives in the way and shoots the guy, and he dies from a bullet wound, but he saved the president. But it was too late. The entity hacked all the nukes, but then Ethan Hunt and his crew saves the day, so it's fine.
Hey, real quick, he asks for the sidearm of like a sergeant who was around earlier. He's like, hey man, can I get that? Why?
I don't know.
In case
I think it was to trick us into thinking he was bad.
Did the enemy tip him off? Right? Like, by the way, right? It just, did he see something? We just have no idea why he asks.
In the logic of the movie, he was going to do the nuke thing, but then the brave president convinced him that it was bad. And then he, changed his mind.
Maybe,
I think that's the best.
Maybe he was planning to shoot himself after the nuke thing because he would have been like, wow, this is so evil.
That would have been cool. Yeah.
I'm gonna kill
one other thing that I saw someone mention now that we're at pretty much the end of it. And I know they're gonna do it in a second, but it's pretty wild that these movies don't use the theme during the stuff. Like the Mission Impossible theme doesn't play the way you would expect during the actual big fight with the planes. You get like a more scorified version of it, but that'd be a pretty cool moment for it if they. I
do think the music in those scenes is really good, though.
I think it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, someone brought that up, and I'm like, it is weird that they don't use it, because it's so iconic. Just kind of happens at the end.
Speaking of how iconic that music is, Ethan Hunt and all the IMF people meet up at the end, in London, where they all nod at each other. And then Grace gives Ethan a box that turns out to contain the entity's USB drive.
Smash it!
They all walk off one by one into the crowds. And then the music plays, the theme. Bum, 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 bum.
And no post-credit scene. Can you believe it?
No post-credit scene, because it's the final reckoning, DJ. We're done.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, it's not even a little bit. I was like, oh, they're going to fake kill him or something, and then he'll come back if they decide. But no, he's just there.
Yeah.
Fully. I don't know why we would expect this to be the final reckoning.
Yeah, the world's probably still a mess, right?
Oh, world's bad.
Yeah. I mean, the world's bad now.
That's true.
We
World's
could
use Ethan Hunt.
Worse.
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know.
It's true. I mean, we never see it be that bad. We hear about it, but
I mean,
I don't know about the death cultists.
The president in this universe backs off of killing hundreds of millions of people because she decides that's bad. So is it a worse universe, DJ? Really?
100%. Instead of that, oh, we've prepared a list of population centers. We'd be like, these are the 5 cities that voted for you the least. He's like, oh, can we do all 5? Let's do all 5 just to be safe. Also, I do think that in the aftermath of this, there would be a bit where the economy would be a disaster, and he'd be like, that's the entity's fault. All the good stuff from the economy is me. All the bad stuff, entity for the rest of his term.
Also, Entity 2.0 is like 8 months away, right? Like we're
Oh
gonna have
yeah,
another
for
one.
sure.
Like, Ethan didn't stop anything.
That's why I gotta destroy cyberspace. Fuck it. Get rid of it. It's bad.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, it could only improve the world if you ask me.
Yeah. Shea Wiggum is in it. Remember him at the
Shea
end? I have him as note.
Shea Wiggum gives him a big handshake at the end because Shea Wiggum also says he's the son of the villain from the first movie, and he's mad.
Oh, right. John Voight. Yeah.
He's mad. Like, you made my dad a monster. Like, you revealed that he was a traitor. And he's like, are you mad about it? And he's like, no. And I'm like, why did you bring it up then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, also this other weird thing with no payoff. Ethan's like, the entity would never expect us to work together, so we have to work together. And it doesn't pan out like that.
Yeah. Every time a character tries to convince somebody of that, the characters go, but like, nah. Because like, what's her name does it with the Russians when they're in the house, and she's like, wouldn't it be crazy? It would be fucking crazy to the entity. It wouldn't even know. And then the guy's like, I'm a Russian, like a guy with a gun. No, I'm not.
And it's also like fine that we don't come
to
an agreement here.
I don't have any kids or a dog or anything. Let's just go.
I'm Russian, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was thinking like this would destroy the whole universe, including my son, but he had no son to include.
He didn't have a son. Yeah, exactly. It's good writing. Yeah. I want him to kiss Shea Wiggum.
That's Mission Impossible. We did it.
We did it. Woo. Dead Reckoning to Final Reckoning.
Mm-hmm. And just
you guys think they'll... I was just gonna say, you think they'll make one within the next 10 years?
Absolutely. 10 years,
yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
I wouldn't be shocked if they do one without Tom Cruise.
I don't think they can.
I think we're getting another one before the decade's out.
Maybe we get one starring our pal Joey.
Ooh, Joey would be great in one of these. He's pretty charismatic. Yeah, it's interesting. These don't traditionally make like a ton of money either. Like,
I think this one did pretty well, right?
Yeah, they do okay. I guess like I don't think these have ever cracked like $1 billion, but this one is insanely expensive. So it's interesting to see how this does.
I know it didn't do as well as Lilo and Stitch.
No, they should have put Lilo and Stitch in it. I did ask this on Twitter if Tom Cruise could kill Stitch, but anybody with a brain knows Stitch is borderline unkillable. Right.
But Stitch couldn't do all the water diving that Tom Cruise does in this movie.
That's the thing. If Tom Cruise knows to get Stitch in the water, it's over. But if they just fight, Stitch will rip Tom Cruise in half within a second.
That's true.
Stitch is a monster. But they'd be pretty cool to see. Maybe they should do that in the next one.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Instead of sending Ving Rhames is like, we couldn't handle this alien. We need to send my friend Tom Cruise.
Yeah. That would be pretty good. Tie these together. Well, speaking of that, so do you guys have anything to plug for the fine people?
Well, I have things to wreck before I plug them.
Some things.
Well, then let's do those first. Do you have anything to wreck for the fine people?
I think that's what Nando said. I think he said wreck, much like the Mission Impossible, Dead.
No, the entity has gone into the podcast. It's changing.
Interesting how the entity only makes Nando say wrong things and not either of us.
Well, Nando might be a death cultist, so maybe that's why.
This is more times in this podcast that the entity has changed something than in the entire movie we just watched about how the entity is taking control of everything. That's weird. Anyway, DJ, do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
Yeah, I got a couple things to recommend. So I got two movies. One I'm pretty sure is already recommended on the podcast, but they both have to deal with being parents. So the first one, pretty sure Diggins wrecked this. Nando, I can't remember if you wrecked it, but The Wild Robot.
I actually have not seen this yet, but
I did wreck it though, so you are still repeating.
Great, that's fine. Yeah, but that was like 6 months ago or whatever.
Yeah, when it was in theaters.
Yes. Well, it's a great movie to watch on your phone or TV or airplane. I don't care how you watch it. I'm not Tom Cruise. It really what is that movie about? It's about being a mom. And, you know, Diggins, I know you recommended it, but you didn't recommend it under the lens of being a parent. So did you really get what the movie was about?
Don't give me all that, like, you can't possibly understand the special bond between a parent and child if you aren't a parent. You know what? I am a child, so I do understand.
I did watch it with Michelle, and she basically sobbed the whole way through the movie. Especially when the duck was being shitty. She's like, God damn it.
She's like, that's our future, TJ. This is gonna be our kid. And
possibly some of our present. But no, it's a fantastic movie. Which, like, at the end, like, watching the credits, I'm like, oh my God, that voice actor. Oh my God, that actor. Oh my God, that, like, it's stacked.
Including your favorite guy, Matthew Berry.
That's right. He was in that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know which one he was, DJ?
The Beaver. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know you were going to say that when I said the Beaver thing.
I would have got there.
But, like, you heard his voice, so now you know what it sounds like.
Yeah. I love
Pretty interesting. Yeah.
I like that he was.
DJ, can you do an impression for us right now of Matthew Berry?
It's me, Matthew Berry.
Oh, so bad.
I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know if he does an accent like this. I doubt it.
That.
But,
and you're not even doing the, like, one signature thing about Matthew Berry. So
okay. Oh well. I like that he's misunderstood in that movie. All right, so that's one. The next movie, this one surprised me. It's actually about being a dad, believe it or not. I watched Dogman. It's like,
I thought Dogman was about being a dog man.
But you think that it's really about being a dad. It's shocking. Not only being a dad, but being two dads. That's what? Like, you know, I know it's really good.
It's about being gay dads.
It's kinda, yeah. The movie kind of ends in that place. Well, like, gay divorced dads I'm like, I guess I don't know if it's like a spoiler warning, because it's
for
not
Dogman.
that.
I think we're okay.
Okay. So I will say this: it is like, the Wild Robot is for all people to come in and enjoy. It's not like a kids movie. It's like for everyone. Dogman is like way more of a kids movie, and like the jokes, it's like, oh, we're doing a lot of the frenetic movement and like loud, you know, noises and bright lights to distract the children, which is fine. I think you could even get some enjoyment out of it as not a child, and there's some heartfelt stuff there, but you're not gonna like cry through it. But it is about being a dad, and a dog man and a cat guy. And it shows the cycle of meanness. It's like, don't be mean to your kids, because then you'll have mean kids who will then be mean to their kids. And yeah, it's not like a deep movie, but there's like some stuff going on where it's like, it makes you go, oh, okay, that's nice. But it's fun. And guys, it's 89 fucking minutes. It's under the tight 90, which of course it is. It's the Dogman movie. But it's
hell
nice.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Yeah.
Pete Davidson's in it, right?
Yeah, he's Petey the cat, which is funny. That he's
good for him.
Cat. Yeah. That was a good job. So that's what. Okay. I think, Nando, did you wreck? I think you wrecked the rehearsal already. Maybe.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Well,
I haven't wrecked like the finale, but I've wrecked.
I'm saying
definitely first episode or two.
Now, having seen the whole thing, boy howdy, am I glad I waited to watch this until after I did all my flying. Just because,
yeah.
Boy,
and after Tom Cruise did all of his flying.
Yeah. It's an incredible show. You could watch this without watching season 1. But there's some interesting tie-ins from season 1 that it's like, it definitely pays off better. Like, if you don't know what Nate's is, you're like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But it's like a phenomenal show that everyone should watch. Diggins, are you in on the rehearsal at all? Can't remember if I asked you.
I can't do Nathan Fielder. I can't handle that level of cringe comedy.
Can I give you something? This season is not cringe. I don't think there's
the things I've heard don't really seem to support that assertion.
Not the kind of cringe that's like in season 1 or most of his stuff. I think
is true, but like, I do think it's still got some cringe.
The cringiest thing is, not getting too much into it, is the significant others watching their actor partners.
Oh, really? You think that's cringier than the meeting he has with someone in the episode before last? I think that's the cringiest.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But yours is pretty cringy too. That whole episode was super cringy.
Yeah, that whole one.
I also think you could skip that episode and be fine.
Yeah, that too. This
That's
season was all over
anathema
the
to my
place.
very being, Nando.
I know, but
I will say, I know some criticism of the show is like, oh, he's exploiting people. That episode is the most exploity, I think.
Mhm.
But that being said, Diggins, give it a shot. Give it a shot.
It's pretty cool.
I've seen cringier like game changer episodes than like some stuff in the season of the rehearsal.
Well, Game Changer is like, I don't find Game Changer cringy because they're like comedians. I don't know.
I would say, well, but yeah, is he even a comedian though, or is he a hero?
Or is he a hero?
Yeah. I would say episode 3 of this season is the one that I think plays the most like a regular comedy. That's the Sully episode, and I think that episode is my favorite.
It's so good. Yeah.
And that's the one that I would recommend to Diggins to watch just because I think it's really funny and doesn't really do the cringy stuff. But
and it's compartmentalized kind of in of itself. I guess you don't have something.
Yeah, you kind of learn a little thing, and you're like, yeah, that's a story.
I will say, season 1 of the rehearsal, like where it ends up, you're like, wow, that sure was something. But it's so micro to like a singular experience with like a handful of people. This one is such a like it touches everyone. It's almost like we might have to make this like required like classroom viewing, like for high schoolers at some point, because it touches everyone because everyone flies. And also everyone might have experiences, having to dealing with power structures. No, it's so crazy.
Say with autism or something. There's a lot there too.
I just think it blows my mind how like the messaging and impacts of this season are so broad reaching, and I think you could argue like important. Like, and he's out there talking about this, man. He was on like Wolf Blitzer.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say, if you don't want to watch
shit.
the whole season, just watch the Wolf Blitzer interview, and you can learn about conflict resolution.
Like he's everywhere. Like this matters in a way that season 1 didn't matter this much. So I don't know. I think you should watch it. I think everyone should watch it. It's fascinating. I think everyone should be a captain all ears, and also don't be afraid to be a first officer blunt. I think is the takeaway. So anyway, that's my Rex. Diggins, what about you?
I'm just gonna wreck a movie I watched really quick. You guys, either of you familiar with an actor by the name of Tony Jaa?
Of course, the Protector himself.
Yeah, I know. Obviously,
also he's in like one of those Fast and Furiouses. I can't remember which one. He's one of those actors.
He's in Seven.
Oh yeah,
with
that's
Rousey.
Right. Oh right.
Is he in the bus that falls off the cliff? Isn't that one scene?
He's like the minion that Paul Walker fights at the end.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He they love to bring in really sick actors and then just waste them pretty much.
Yeah.
So they got a great
also in
track record for
X-Men
that.
4 Bulls.
That's right. He's the bad guy, right? I think.
No. He's the guy who's like, who helps Jason Statham, but is like, but I can't do any more killing because killing erodes my soul, and I'll become a soulless husk if I kill anymore. And then he shows up at the end like, actually, I decided it's fine, and I will kill some more.
The bad guy in 4 is also a really sick martial artist, right?
No, it's like a middle-aged white guy.
No, it's so now I'm looking at it. Andy Garcia turns out to be the bad guy, but Iko Uwais is the actual like guy who's doing bad guy stuff.
Right.
He's cool.
Okay. I thought you meant Andy Garcia. I was like,
yeah,
no.
I forgot about him. He's pretty sick. Have you tried? All right, you go fight Andy Garcia. You tell me how it goes. I don't think you're gonna like it so much.
It is my long-standing position on this podcast that I would lose any fight, so that doesn't prove anything. Anyway, I watched Tony Jaa's first big hit in his native Thailand, Ong-Bak.
Oh yeah.
You've seen this one, Nando?
Mm-hmm.
And
I think
DJ,
I've seen the
course,
first 2, but I can't remember if I ever saw the third one. I know
DJ,
they made a
course,
couple
has
of
seen
them.
Ong-Bak.
I wish. I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Well, yeah, like I said, it's Tony Jaa's first big hit, so it's just a martial arts movie where some guys steal the head of the Buddha statue from Tony Jaa's village, and so the whole village sends him to the big city, to I think it's Bangkok, to get it back with the help of like, there's like one guy who moved there from the village years ago. So he's supposed to hit him up for help. But that guy's like a gambling washout now. And it's just, you know, martial arts revenge movie stuff. He goes and he fights a bunch of guys and runs away from a bunch of guys and gets the Buddha head back. And it's so cool. Tony Jaa is so good at Muay Thai, you guys. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And not just Muay Thai, but also just like stunts. Like the chase sequences in this movie, he just does a bunch of crazy stunts. And you watch this and you're like, it's amazing that no Hollywood movie can figure out how to use this guy at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you've only seen his like Hollywood movies, you might think like, what's the big deal? He's not that impressive. Yeah, watch an Ong-Bak and you'll be like, oh shit, this guy's awesome.
Yeah, he really like, oh, he was in the Jiu-Jitsu movie.
Yeah.
Never mind, Hollywood figured it out. They just stopped after one. They were like, we got it. Just no more. What else can we do?
That's a
Forgot about that. Good for him.
But yeah, so that's the first Ong-Bak. There are others. Like I think they're prequels.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe I haven't seen 2 then, because looking at the poster for 2, I'm like, I don't remember this. But
so yeah, I've only seen the first one. I went to see it at the Museum of the Moving Image, so I saw like a 35 millimeter print screening there. So that was also really cool. But if you can just find any copy of it, just incredible stunts and martial arts work. What about you, Nando? Anything to rec?
Oh, so many things. So many TV shows. And then one movie. So I'll go through the TV shows quickly. Rehearsal, DJ already said that one. Miracle of the Mojave, all the articles or interviews about it are great. The one thing I will say about Rehearsal is that most of the late night show hosts are on hiatus this week because they're all in LA campaigning for the Emmys. So the only one that's going currently is Kimmel because he's in LA. So Nathan Fielder was on Kimmel, and that interview is also very funny. I imagine when the rest of them get back, Nathan will go, or not Nathan Fielder, excuse me, Nathan Fielder. The rest of them will go on like Seth Meyers and Colbert and stuff. And then we'll see more funny Nathan Fielder interviews. So I'm looking forward to that. Other shows, Rick and Morty's back. I watched the first one of those. Pretty good. You know, Rick and Morty, you know, awful fan base and stuff and annoying fickle Rick, but on its, you know, at its center, sometimes show's pretty good.
Nando's and like, I'm finally watching again now that they brought back Justin Roiland.
Oh, I thought about that for a second. So obviously they didn't, right?
They didn't. No.
Okay, cool.
He'll never.
I was just saying terrible things about you for no reason.
No, that's fair, because I was listening to it and I was like, man, these voices sound perfect. I couldn't even remember which characters it was. Like I was like, he was Rick and Morty, and is that what it was?
Yeah,
he did both of them. Okay, yeah. So, but the new people are good. And yeah, I think this episode's pretty funny. It's a very classic Rick and Morty shenanigans episode. Speaking of classic shenanigans, I finished the first season of The Studio. The kind of Seth Rogen is a studio executive. This is produced by Apple TV. The budget on it is insane. Like the shit that they do practically, and not like practically like he flies a plane, but like practically like they just recreate the Golden Globes and set an episode in the Golden Globes. And you're like, that's not like tricks. They just had all the actors come and sit there, and it's insane. It's also very funny. I wouldn't say it's like the best critique of Hollywood ever, but I do think it has a lot of funny things to say about Hollywood. That its heart, it's funny because it's just about a guy who just wants people to like him and constantly, you know, gets himself in deeper and deeper situations. Also, he falls a lot, so that's fun. Yeah, I like the studio a lot. I think the first season's very good. I think the ending's really funny. So I would say watch that. New show on Netflix that Hannah and I started called Sirens. This is Melly Alcock, Supergirl, and then Julianne Moore, and then another person who's in from Drop, the one from Drop, which nobody, Megan Fahey. She's good in it. And it's about a sister, the pair of sisters, but one sister's like the burnout kind of, she's, you know, a mess, taking care of dad, is like, where's my other sister? She kind of abandoned the family. and that's Melly Alcock, and she is a personal assistant for what seems like she might be like a wellness influencer or maybe a cult leader, and like it's unclear. So
it's not a huge difference between those two things.
Exactly. And like I'm 2 out of 5 episodes in, so like I really can't tell what direction it's going in. But it's about that. It's about the sister trying to infiltrate this thing. It's more or less like it's a comedy, but it's not as much of a comedy as like it could be, but that's fine. But I wouldn't say like expect lots of laughs. But it's funny, and it's got Dennis is in there from Always Sunny in a role where he's playing not Dennis, but like a Dennis-ish character. And yeah, I liked it. I think it was a good show so far. We haven't finished it, but it's on the list. Also watched the first couple episodes of Murderbot. I think that's interesting. Probably more to say about that as we go. But then my big rec this week, the movie I went to see, that wasn't this, the little movie about men being men, and learning what we need to do and to get ourselves all ready for the world and stuff. And, it's much like The Studio, it's about a guy who just can't get anything right. And of course, I'm talking about a movie called Friendship. This is the Tim Robinson, Paul Rudd like comedy thing. I mean, it is definitely a comedy, but it is an hour and a half of just like, I think you should leave sketches, but they're all more realistic than usual. But the more important thing is the consequences carry on from sketch to sketch. So like by the end, shit is crazy in this person's life and stuff. But basically it's about a guy who lives a kind of boring life. And an exciting guy moves in next door to him. This guy's played by Paul Rudd. He's pretty much his character from Anchorman, enough that apparently in the original script, the character's name was Brian and he was a weatherman. And they were like, well, he could still be a weatherman. We got to change his name because that's the name of the guy from. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. But he is exciting. He takes him under his wing. He introduces him to his friends. Tim Robinson's guy has friends for the first time in his life, but then things go a little wrong and he is ostracized from the friend group. And then his life is destroyed. And it's about men making friends, being lonely. But then also a bunch of other stuff. It has a couple of like cameos that are great. One is the best one. And that actor also happens to get the best line in the movie. For everybody I've talked to agrees. And I was very happy about that, but I don't want to spoil who it is and what the context of it is. It's like, if you liked it, I think you should leave. It's all that. A little bit more like it lets bits go a little bit more. So like it doesn't have quite the energy of an I think you should leave sketch, because I think you should leave sketches are like edited really aggressively, especially near the end. And I love that about them. This doesn't do that. So that's an interesting like way to play it. So I think everybody, it's in theaters now, and it's in more theaters than it used to be in. But I don't know when it'll be on VOD. If you can get into a theater, we had a good time. My theater had a good time with it. If not, when it hits VOD, definitely watch it because it's very funny.
Yeah.
So
I didn't get a chance to see it this week, but I might be seconding that recommendation next week.
I have a feeling you will. There was what was it? Hannah and I were like, we should go see that Final Destination because she didn't get to go see it at the time that I saw it. But I was like, I'll see it again for sure. And then we went on Thursday, and that was the plan. And then I was like, we can't see the Final Destination because the Friendship movie is out instead. And we went to that, and it was great. So and you know what? Probably a nice, I don't know. I guess my theater was pretty good. Nobody was like, people were laughing, but nobody was on their phone. So that's great. It's one of those movies where like everybody in the theater that goes to see this movie in the theater is going to see this movie.
I don't think the teens are going to Friendship.
Yeah. So that's great. And yeah, I don't know.
Maybe you should see more independent or smaller movies, and maybe then you guys would stop having a witch's curse.
No, they don't have Tim Robinson in them. So I mean, some of them might, but this one does for sure. And I'm very excited for his show. He has that Chair Factory show coming out this year, I think. Like between that and this other thing, between that and the Rehearsal, like HBO is just crushing it with weird shit. So I'm very happy about that. What are we doing next week?
It's a great question.
Something came out, right?
Well, I mean, Lilo and Stitch is still out.
Karate Kid.
Oh, there it is. That's what I was thinking of. Karate Kid.
Apparently kind of stinks.
Karate Kid came out.
Bring Her Back, but that's a horror movie. That's not fun. Like Final Destination, so probably not going to do that. I think we would just
be Scalewood.
Yeah. Hurry Up Tomorrow. I do want to see that eventually. The weekend movie that everyone hates.
Nice.
I've seen that one clip of it on the thing.
What the fuck was his name?
Who?
What was that? The HBO show The Weeknd was in.
Oh, The Idol?
The Idol, yeah.
Oh. No, this is him and what's her name? Wait, did I say it? What's the name of Wednesday?
Oh, Jenna Ortega?
Jenna Ortega, yeah. There's a scene where it's so funny. It's in the it's in the like Discord server somewhere. But anyway, it's great. Yeah, I don't know. People wanted us to do an Andor episode, so we could do that. I finished Andor. It's great, you know.
Oh boy.
I love Andor.
And then,
I would love to talk about Andor.
The other movie that I was considering this week that I was like, we don't really need to do it. But we could do that Fountain of Youth movie that looks like it's fake, but is real. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
It's got John Krasinski pretending to be Indiana Jones or something.
Oh, God. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It has the most, like, there's no way this is I'll show you the thing. I'll show you the poster and you'll be like, oh, yeah. That's from the background of some other movie, because never has a movie poster looked faker in all of time. I'm gonna put it in the chat, and like not to disparage anybody that made the poster. The poster's fine, but just like this is what a fake one would look like, especially the title. Just like
Guy Ritchie. We have to
Fountain
do
of
this.
Youth. Yeah, Guy Ritchie by James Vanderbilt. Whoever that is.
I want to do this.
I almost put it on the other day, but
you're
then
talking about Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, Fountain of Youth. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, I heard that's one of the worst movies of the year.
Looks pretty boring. But also, like,
we should do it.
You know, I don't know. Maybe. It's
I'm compelled.
It's an Apple thing, I think.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Apple TV Plus, baby.
Yeah.
35 Rotten Tomatoes, guys. This has got our number all over.
You know, that's true. We have had too many good ones in a row. Like Sinners, Thunderbolts, this, Final Destination. Like, we need to do a bad one. So maybe it will be this.
Okay.
What was the last bad one we did?
I mean,
Minecraft, right?
Captain America. Oh yeah, Minecraft. Yeah.
So
really,
I mean, you guys didn't like it. I loved it because I'm cool and hip with the kids. But yeah,
as a young person. Yeah, I think we're due.
The beginning of the year was pretty bad, I think, for movies. But then once Sinners happened, we had a really good run.
Yeah, we've been on a run since Sinners.
Also, I think we can. A Working Man was the week after Minecraft, so that
but
was the last bad movie.
How dare you?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, The Working Man wasn't cool enough to be good. Like, if it were Beekeeper, it would be good, but.
Also, we can all acknowledge that Nando is only saying Minecraft was good because he predicted that, and so he's trying to build up a case for it at the end.
I'm also trying to pretend to be young. There's two reasons. You could do things for two reasons, you guys.
He knows Chicken Jockey backwards and forwards.
Also, he did 69 to him. That was kind of funny. Like, I can't deny there's a lot of the stuff in that movie did work. You know, I thought it was great. But yeah, so next week we'll see. Those are suggestions. So if anybody has strong feelings, let us know. Right. Do you guys have anything to plug now that we're getting into plugs?
I actually do have something to plug.
TJ, plug.
I, along with Michelle, was on the Media Lit podcast with a couple. Bill Bachman was on, a couple Pop Break folks, and then some others. It was a pretty big pod, 6 people, where we ranked our top 35 Bluey non-healer characters. The healers are like all the main ones, so it couldn't be anyone in that family. So all of like the ancillary characters, side characters, we ranked them. The great podcast with some mums and dads, some great conversation. Listeners
Mums and dads. This Australian propaganda.
Oh,
is
that what they call them in
brain.
the show? Oh,
Yeah, well, they're
no.
all Australian, so yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, people who like this podcast will love it because it's 3 hours long. So it's got everything you need. But yeah, we talk about Bluey, and we haven't had the Bluey discourse in a while. But I actually have talked to a coworker who does not have kids but watches Bluey, and it made a pretty compelling case for why Bluey isn't just for kids. So I don't know.
What was the case?
It's a dark world out there, and it's something that can bring some feel goods into your life, and you don't need to be a kid or a parent to appreciate some of the nice messaging inside of Bluey.
Hey,
No,
man.
not doing it
It's
for
up
you.
to this person, I mean, like, because, you know,
Listen.
everybody's got their comfort shows.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge him for
Yeah.
needing a Bluey at the end of the night when he's staring down.
Yeah, you should be a cool badass instead and watch X-Men animated series as like an adult, you know, but that's the difference, I guess, between us.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so check me out in the Media Lit podcast. Diggins, what about you?
Nope. What about you, Nando?
Videos. I put out a video today. That's my Who Should Join Daredevil's group for the next season, because he's like, I want to make a group. And I made that video. So that's been on Nebula for a little bit, although I had to add a little bit because they did confirm one member of the group at New York Upfronts or whatever. So, but otherwise, same video if you've seen it on Nebula. I mean, definitely watch it again on YouTube. But what will
Watch
be
it
going
10
on Nebula?
times and click on all the ads.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like watch it and then show it to people. Comment all the characters.
Hit the bell.
Comment. Yeah, Mr. Beast, comment that. Comment like about Justin Baldoni. Those are the two main things. And Doge, obviously. But so the video that will go on Nebula tonight, which I'm just finishing up, is the who should Steven Yeun play in these movies besides Mr. Negative, but it'll probably be Mr. Negative. But there's other options, guys. We could do something better than that. So there's that video. Besides that, I've had other videos on, you know, there've been a lot of weird little casting things. Like they said certain villains might be in, like, I don't know, fucking Spider-Man or something. What are they doing? They got so much stuff, you know. What was there news? I feel like I definitely did a video about a news. Oh, the Hulk might be in Spider-Man or something, like stuff like that. But yeah, so those videos are all on the Nando Cut, and they're all also great. And yeah, until next week, I have been at Nando V Movies on Twitter. I'm
at Zippy by Day on all this stuff.
I'm at C Diggins exclusively on Bluesky.
That's all I got. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Woo!
See ya.